Thank you, Faye. It was a moving moment there of solidarity for the people of Ukraine. The hoardings all around the lower tier and beneath the second tier here at Wembley, all lit up, not in adverts but in yellow and blue, and the rendition of You'll Never Walk Alone, which broke out during it, was particularly apposite. So welcome to a League Cup final with a difference. It's one without Manchester City in it. Over the last few years, this has been their domain, as both Liverpool and Chelsea can testify. They've both been beaten by City in this final since they last won it. But as soon as Pep's men succumbed to their first League Cup defeat since October 2016, the eyes of the big hitters elsewhere lit up. So Wembley is treated to a battle of two bona fide heavyweights. In the red corner, a Liverpool side with history in their sights, the chance to claim the record 9th League Cup triumph. In the blue corner, Chelsea, champions of Europe and the world, eliminated in only one cup tie at home or abroad in an extraordinary year under Thomas Tuchel. One side's won 9 in a row, the other 6. Between them, they've tasted defeat only 6 times this season in 82 games. Something has to give here. But it didn't when they met in the league. 2 hugely entertaining encounters at Anfield and the Bridge, when in each case the visitors' lead was cancelled out in first half stoppage time. High-octane matches laced with a smattering of controversy, but neither match giving cause for one side to feel that they have the number of the other. Well, this is how they line up today. Liverpool forced into a late change after Thiago was injured in the warm-up. Kate has replaced him. Jurgen Klopp's been true to his word and rotated his keeper. Kevin Kelleher replacing Alisson. Jordan Henderson, who won this final 10 years ago this weekend, is in for Curtis Jones. So it's Kelleher in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Van Dijk and Robertson, Henderson, Fabinho and Keita, Salah, Mane and Luis Diaz.
Yeah, very impressive lineup, Jim. I've got to say the front three are Salah, Mane and Diaz, who has hit the ground running. Interestingly enough, as we've seen on numerous occasions, the two full-backs, Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, will take part in the game high up the park. It is a big plus for Liverpool. However, from Chelsea's point of view, can they exploit the spaces in behind the full-backs when they are attacking on the counter?
Well, Chelsea's 2 changes are both in force now. Christensen or Ziyech. Chalobah and Mount return. Azpilicueta, the only man in this side who started their last League Cup triumph in 2015. It's Mendy in goal, Chalobah, Silva, Rudiger, Azpilicueta, Conte, Kovacic and Alonso, Mount and Pulisic and Kai Havertz.
Yeah, that back three will be tested today, Jim. Certainly a big day, particularly for Chalobah. Loads of energy with Kovacic and Conte in midfield. They need that today, Chelsea, you feel. And variety and movement, creativity up front. And Kai Havertz, is he going to be the big man for the big occasion once more?
Camera has just panned to a shot of Thiago Alcantara on the Liverpool bench. Alisson's arm around him. He's inconsolable at the moment to have been injured in the warm-up ahead of the final. Big day as well for Stuart Atwell, who takes charge of his first major final. He blows his whistle and players from both sides unite to take the knee, a reminder that there is no room for racism. So for the first time in 7 years, this trophy will be residing outside of Manchester. But where? Liverpool and Chelsea head-to-head in the domestic final for the 3rd time. And if blue has been the colour in those 2 previous showpiece events, the Reds now eye records and revenge. The 2022 League Cup final is underway. Liverpool kicking from right to left. Their fans housed away to our right-hand side. So in this first half, both sides are defending the end of the ground at which their supporters are sitting by and large. Chelsea, blue shirts and shorts and white socks. It's Liverpool on the front foot from the off. Quick throw taken by Robertson into the feet of Mane. Chalobah was there to get a confidence-boosting clearance, nipping in between the pair of them and forcing Liverpool back. It's a throw that they will again take, but much deeper towards the halfway line on their left-hand side, and taken now by Andy Robertson. Into the feet of Luis Diaz, back for Robertson. Second loose touch of the afternoon from him. It results in Chelsea having a throw. Azpilicueta looked to take quickly. He's now stolen 4, 5, 6 yards before launching it forward. Pulisic with good movement there ahead of Fabinho. Switches it out to the Chelsea left-hand side for Marcus Alonso. There are 3 Chelsea players making their way towards the edge of the penalty area, although the ball has been switched back now to Rudiger. In towards Thiago Silva. Kovacic in the midfield, who'd been a slight doubt to play today because of the injury that he picked up in the Champions League tie against Lille. He works it back for Edouard Mendy. Both sides just getting the feel of the ball with 90 seconds in at 0-0.
Interestingly enough, Jim, it's as you would expect when Liverpool are in possession with the wide players, with Diaz on the left-hand side here and Salah on the right. What they do is they force Chelsea into a back five. Azpilicueta drops back on the right-hand side, and Alonso drops back on the left. However, as soon as Chelsea get possession of the football, Alonso spearheads against a five in the middle of the park. He goes up on the left, and Azpilicueta goes forward on the right.
It is Azpilicueta who's making his 461st Chelsea appearance today, who has the ball in his hand, preparing to take a throw, just dropped short into the feet of Kovacic. Back for the Spaniard again, the Chelsea captain finding Chalobah. Now Thiago Silva, who won 5 French Cups, 6 French League Cups in his time with PSG. Copa de Brazil as well. He's hoping for another domestic trophy in yet another different country today, and a man that leading the line, not the captain, but so much experience and prowess at the back for Chelsea.
Yeah, he certainly has. What intrigues me, Jim, in the opening stages of this game is we know that both these teams, when they're at their best, they like to press, they like to really go after the opposition deep in their own territory. How high are Chelsea prepared to press this Liverpool team with that ferocious pace they've got up top? I'm really intrigued to see exactly where Thiago Silva is going to pitch that line, Ali, at the back.
Yeah, we did say before the game he's pivotal to Chelsea's defence, organising. And the one thing he's very clever at, and he's just mentioned Andy getting on in his years, but his bags of experience, very, very seldom will you see him get caught in a 1v1 or caught for pace.
Azpilicueta taking a throw again on the Chelsea right-hand side for Havertz, and now worked for by Mason Mount. Out of the Chelsea left, Marcus Alonso giving chase, but Alexander-Arnold can play it off him. It goes out of play for a goal kick that will be taken by Kevin Kelleher. You talked about exactly where Chelsea are going to pitch their back line. Where Liverpool are going to pitch theirs, because traditionally under Klopp it has been ultra high, as they win a free kick for the first poor challenge of the afternoon, just on the edge of their own penalty area. And Chelsea have been able to exploit that in the past, getting the ball into that big gap between the goalkeeper and the defence.
Well, it was a chance here as well, actually, should have been utilised better on the left hand side, because Alonso's ended up a poor ball from Mount. He had a chance to put it in behind Trent Alexander-Arnold, and he didn't do it. And interestingly enough, Jim, the one thing that I noticed last week, in the first time in a long while, was actually the pace of Kai Havertz. Always knew technically he's a very, very good player, but I didn't know he was just as quick as he showed last week against Lille. So that's something that Liverpool back four will certainly have to be wary of.
Mendy getting the ball away, the first League Cup tie that he has played this season for Chelsea, getting the nod ahead of Kepa Arrizabalaga. Liverpool have won it back. Mane playing in the middle of the front three. First chance for Salah to try and torment his former club. In towards the edge of the penalty area. 3 blue shirts around him, and Kovacic has forced him back. He's maintained possession easily though. Fabinho will just play down for Trent Alexander-Arnold. He tried to clip it back for Keita. That was blocked again over on the Chelsea left by Alonso. And as they work the ball forward down the far touchline, Salah's done really well to come back in defensive duty. Although he's conceded a throw, he stopped Chelsea's counter-attack being a potent one.
It was interesting, Jim. Andy and I were talking before the game. It was going to be one of the first challenges or situations we're really looking forward to, was Salah getting it early in a 1v1 situation with Rudiger, which he did do there. However, there was a gang round him in about 2 seconds, wasn't there?
Yeah, the blue shirts converged upon him to do exactly the right thing, stood him up, forced him back, and make him drop it off to somebody else.
Havertz has got it now, man for the big occasion, as he's proved in Chelsea colours already. Azpilicueta plays it in, what a save from Kelleher! An outstanding chance for Chelsea. Havertz and Azpilicueta and Pulisic all combining. Pulisic hitting it first time, and Kevin Kelleher justifying his selection with a tremendous save.
It really was. He's got to score though. I tell you right now, he's got to score. Anywhere on the target's a goal. Take nothing away from the goalkeeper, who stands up and makes a good save. But I'm sorry, he's got to be scoring. Pulisic there. Big chance. I mean, massive chance.
Really good football, Ali, wasn't it, from Chelsea? Right, they switched it from left to right. He's onside as well, Pulisic. The ball arrives about a yard outside, the 7 or 8 yards out. Right in the middle of the goal. He hits it first time straight at Kevin Kelleher, who gets his arm on it to make a brilliant stop.
He does, Andy. It's a big left arm. He gets up, sticks. I thought it was straight at him. He could have hit his body, but he didn't. He put a left arm up. Good save. Chelsea should be ahead.
Well, Well, he scored against Liverpool at the Bridge. He should have scored against Liverpool at Wembley as well. Christian Pulisic, who's making his 100th appearance for the club today. He's done well to come back and win possession back in the midfield here for Chelsea. They try and take on Fabinho, who's stuck out of left leg and timed his challenge to perfection. Then Chalobah has done really well to wire into a challenge and get there ahead of Luis Diaz, and Chelsea will come again. They've been the brighter in the early stages, and they now have a free kick as Fabinho fouls Azpilicueta about 7 or 8 yards from the bottom right corner of the penalty area.
As you would expect, what a start in terms of the game, the pace of the game. Dear me, Andy and I are looking at each other saying it's absolutely electric, non-stop, and you're right, Chelsea just slightly having the better of the opening 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, once or twice when Liverpool have won the ball, they've been a little careless in possession, and the blue shirts are working really, really hard. First good situation as well, this from a dead ball, Jim, from Mason Mount.
And he stands over it. Salah, a one-man wall near the corner of the penalty area, has actually pulled the ball into a slightly more favourable angle, but further away from the edge of the box to fire this in. Liverpool keeping a high line on the back of the penalty area. Kelleher knew that he was going to go past him, and Rudiger, by the time he wrapped his right foot around it, could only steer it into the Liverpool fans behind that goal. 7.5 minutes gone.
It's not a great ball across, John. Rudiger couldn't do a lot with it. Having said that, he went at it with the wrong foot. He still went with his left foot, but it was a poor delivery.
Interesting day in the Scottish Premiership today, as Celtic were held 0-0 at Hibs, and Rangers have blown a 2-0 lead at home to Motherwell. 2 up at the break. It is 2-2 there with 11 minutes to go, and that would maintain the status quo, and we'll keep you updated. Ali, I broke it to you as gently as I thought I could get away with. Now the ball in towards Luis Diaz. He's fouled. It's a Liverpool free kick inside their own half. It's 0-0 here on TalkSport, the 2022 Carabao Cup final. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0, and these are the thoughts of Andy Townsend.
Yeah, good start to the game. Really ferocious tempo in the opening exchanges. That one brilliant chance for Christian Pulisic, should have scored, didn't. But Chelsea have got a good shape, look comfortable, and at the moment are just moving that ball a little bit better once they get into the Liverpool half. Kelleher got the ball at his feet. Both managers having a different view on what to do with the goalkeepers today. Kepa Arrizabalaga has started every League Cup tie for Chelsea, but he's been left out. Kelleher, who started 3 of the 5 for Liverpool, brought back in place of Alisson today. It was a fine save from him. It is only the 17th senior game of his Liverpool career today. Kareem Kelleher's playing some big ones in the past. Liverpool able to bring the ball down on the edge of their own penalty area here with Matip. He can work it out towards Jordan Henderson. 10 years ago this weekend was in the Liverpool starting lineup that just edged past Cardiff on penalties to win this competition. It's the last domestic trophy, or domestic cup, I beg your pardon, that they have won. Pulisic now has missed the clearest opportunity so far. Back for Azpilicueta, now to Chalobah. Chalobah to Thiago Silva. Chipped down towards Cesar Azpilicueta again, who controls it on his right foot, works it back in field for N'Golo Kanté. Kanté to Thiago Silva, good ball from him, swept out to Marcus Alonso. And now he's got the opportunity to run at Trent Alexander-Arnold. It looks as though his touch was heavy, but Alexander-Arnold didn't come and engage. The cross comes in, it's a diving header clear. Liverpool with the second contact as well with Henderson, and Keita and Alexander-Arnold between them are able to get the ball forward towards halfway. Thiago Silva ducks his head in, and they'll be picked up by Kovacic on the Chelsea left-hand side, and they'll try and build again.
They're bang at it, Chelsea, opening 10 minutes. They are bang at it, tidy in possession, really sharp on the ball. Certainly the livelier of the two teams, no doubt about that.
Azpilicueta just got the ball over Pulisic. He was trying to tease it over the shoulder of Virgil van Dijk for the runner Kai Havertz. Robertson's cleared it, and Fabinho now feeds Naby Keita. And his blue boots can bring the ball forward over halfway and play in Luis Diaz, and he will try and get a run at Chalobah. Colombian is making his first ever appearance in this competition. He's found Sadio Mane. Mane trying to flick it through towards Salah, but couldn't get it past 2 Chelsea defenders to get there, and the Blues will clear their lines out towards Joel Matip.
Yeah, Luis Diaz, Jim, as soon as he picked the ball up there, he wants to run at Chalobah. But the Chelsea man certainly equal to it, stood him up. They find Sadio Mane on the edge of the box, and his pass to Salah isn't quite good enough.
Mane scored it again. His last League Cup goal actually came against Liverpool. He's done brilliantly to get away from Chalobah, setting up Diaz, right-footed shot. That's blocked. Chelsea defending mop-handedly. when Liverpool do push forward, there are plenty of blue shirts back. I think it was Kovacic that got in the way of that one, and Rudiger now is going to be able to calmly bring things down on the edge of his own penalty area. But a little flurry from Liverpool. Chelsea will be the happier though, with 11 goalless minutes behind us.
Beautiful little nutmeg there as well on Chalobah. He won't like watch that again.
Mount out of the bottom left-hand corner of the penalty area for Havertz. A little step over from him, but Matip didn't buy it. Conte behind square for Chalobah. Already knows that he's got his work cut out against Luis Diaz. Chalobah back inside his own half of the centre circle for Thiago Silva. And Kovacic is put under telling pressure from Henderson. Liverpool with an intensity in the press there as the ball fell for Kovacic, but was just able to smuggle it out of harm's way. And Chelsea will go back to their goalkeeper, Edouard Mendy. 12 minutes gone, it's goalless here on TalkSport, and Kovacic needs a little bit of treatment. He's Stuart Atwell just calling the Chelsea medical staff over. He's sat down in the midfield. It's Thiago Silva, beg your pardon.
Yeah, Thiago Silva, Jim, you're right. It's just hurt his elbow a little bit here. Not the sort of guy that easily drops to the turf and to get the physio on, but look, we'll see how he is. But when Chelsea are at their best, when Kovacic and N'Golo Kante are buzzing around that midfield area, picking up those loose balls, denying the space into Sadio Mane and Mo Salah, that's when Chelsea, when they turn the ball over, they look dangerous. And you flip that over, if the Liverpool guys can bypass those two, can get it into Salah and Mane as early and as quickly, as directly as they can, that's when they come alive as well.
Absolutely, and I think the key from Liverpool's point of view going forward, they'll get three players up front. The three we mentioned there, Salah, Mane and Diaz, are more than happy in 1v1 situations. In fact, they thrive on them. They're going to take their opponent on immediately.
Well, Thiago Silva's just taken a couple of painkillers. It's a bang to the left-hand side of his upper rib cage. But he's going to be okay, fit to continue with 13 minutes in. And don't forget, you can stay one step ahead of the Carabao Cup final with the TalkSport Edge app. Our Match Centre gives you faster live scores plus team news and the latest from your club. You can download it from the Apple Store or Google Play Store. And after us, as soon as the trophy has been presented and paraded, you can join Darren Bent, Darren Ambrose and Alex Crook for all the reaction to today's Carabao Cup final. Your chance to have your say on national radio on 03717223344. Liverpool, after the restart, work it forward with Salah. And it's just gone over the line and out of play for a throw which will be taken on the Liverpool right-hand side. Level with the three of us. We're situated about 15 yards or so inside the half that Liverpool are attacking in this first period in their red shirts and shorts. Alexander-Arnold preparing to take the throw. He has got a deceptively long throw on him. Salah is back to the direction of play, had Rudiger right behind him, and that stopped the Egyptian being able to feed it into the path of Luis Diaz, who made a good run from out to in. A very quickly taken throw finds the Colombian again down by the corner flag. It's cleared out for Alexander-Arnold, who tries to cut across the ball with the top of his right foot, and it just spun up in the air. Didn't really make the lateral distance that he wanted it to. And Chelsea could make the most of that and get it upfield. But Liverpool, who've been on the back foot in much of the opening 10 minutes, are having better possession now. They've got it with Robertson. They can play it for Naby Keita. Diaz makes the run ahead of him, but instead he's cut it back into Sadio Mane. If you're just joining us, Keita, a very late inclusion in the Liverpool starting lineup after Thiago Alcantara was injured in the warm-up. Chelsea can bring this latest one away with Havertz, and he'll take it out to the left-hand touchline before working it back infield for Kovacic. Kovacic, good ball, back for Havertz on the Chelsea left-hand side. Pulisic making a darting run in towards the near post. He's back towards Mount, good turn, but blocked by Matip. Kovacic trying his luck from distance, a little bit of pinball, and Luis Diaz slow to realise that the ball was coming towards his feet, didn't get it away. He recovered well, atoned for his own error by then winning it back from a combination of Chalobah and Conte. Kovacic tries to put pressure on the Liverpool midfield, but Van Dijk calms things down, and he gets it back for Kelleher away to our right-hand side. 16 minutes of the League Cup final behind us, and it's 0-0. Here's Ali McCoy.
Again, not for the first time, Jim. Chelsea having a bit of success down that their left-hand side Liverpool's right defending with Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Here's Mane after a slight mistake from Chalobah, and then it's cleared from inside the penalty area by Rudiger.
He's got to hit it. He's got to hit it, surely.
Ali's got to hit that. I mean, look, Sadio Mane's done well there. He's chased a ball that was slightly inside Chalobah. Chalobah went to the ground to try and mop it up, and in the end, Sadio Mane back up on his feet quickly, drives into the box. He's looking for Mo Salah. I think he's got to take a shot.
He's got to hit it, Andy, with the curl towards the far corner.
Liverpool get a throw out of it. Should have been more. Conte will put it away. Salah play for another Liverpool throw in almost exactly the same position.
Do you know, Jim, if that's on the other side, Mo Salah hits that
all day,
every day, doesn't he?
Yep.
Goal kick given rather than the corner. Luis Diaz was another corner flag, convinced that he hadn't got the last touch. It has been given against him. There's a goal kick which will be taken by Mendy. Sadio Mane, I mentioned earlier, his last League Cup goal back in his Southampton days. It came against Liverpool in the quarterfinals back in 2015. So he's 6-7 years without a goal in this competition. It is the first tie that he's played, first tie that Mo Salah's played in the League Cup this season as well. In fact, Salah has never scored a goal in the League Cup in his career. Hasn't had a chance so far. Mane passing up the opportunity to make the most of a half chance that had been created for him. Fabinho gets away from Kovacic, who's slightly caught him. The advantage play. Alexander-Arnold in for Mane. Has come off the side of his head and will go out and play for a goal kick nearer the corner flag than the post.
What a chance.
Just came to him bigger than he thought.
What a chance. It's a tremendous cross. We saw the run. I think Chalobah switches off a little bit, Andy, and lets him get in front of him. It's a great run. I've got to say, great run from the forward. And once he gets there, he should do a lot better.
Yeah.
He just completely miscues it.
Fabulous whip delivery, trademark delivery from Trent Alexander-Arnold with time. Spots the run of Sadio Mane. You're right, Ali, between Chalobah and Thiago Silva. It's almost like he's just fractionally ahead of it.
Yeah.
Just got there maybe a tad too early.
Now Liverpool turn over possession in the Chelsea midfield. Beginning to turn the screw here, the Reds. Fabinho back for Van Dijk. And Van Dijk will go back inside his own half and then play it forward again for Keita. The Fabinho back for Naby Keita. And down towards Virgil van Dijk. To his right-hand side is Matip. Jordan Henderson can bring it forward and play it out towards Salah. Salah back for Henderson and then deeper for Fabinho. Keita to look for Andy Robertson and then turn back inside. He used Robertson's positioning on the Liverpool left just as a decoy for a moment, but Liverpool maintaining possession, just going sideways and backwards with it at the moment, waiting for the opportunity to get in between the Chelsea lines. Keita again just gesticulates after playing the ball back for Van Dijk. Bit of shadow boxing going on here. Now to Matip, to Keller, who made that one excellent save to deny Christian Pulisic inside the opening 10 minutes. We've played nearly 20 now and it's still 0-0. Fabinho with the ball at his feet. The player goes down off the ball. It's Mane, just a slight stumble and a trip, I think, nothing more than that. Van Dijk and Kelleher play a little 1-2. Now it goes out to the right-hand side of the penalty area for Matip. He's worked it forward for Sadio Mane, who can turn, try and get away from Kovacic. Lays it back for Fabinho. Fabinho under pressure. Finds Virgil van Dijk. There's a stack of passes in this Liverpool move. Now they will look longer.
What a touch.
Oh, sensational. What a touch.
Good ball from Van Dijk. It was Diaz with a touch. It's Salah with the shot. And it's ricocheted up off the thigh of Thiago Silva. It's headed away by Rudiger. Out towards Mane. Mane giving a little push by Mount. Not far outside the penalty area. And a free kick in a good position here for Liverpool.
And it is a free kick. He does really well. Just, appreciates the challenge from Mount. He's coming, puts himself between the ball and Mount. Free kick. But Andy, what a lovely touch on the left-hand side from Diaz.
Fabulous. Lovely passage of play there from Liverpool. Kept it. Just kept it, waited for the right moment to serve it forward. As ever, Van Dijk it is that clips it in for Luis Diaz to run onto. And as Ali says, he pulls it beautifully out of the sky. From there, eventually they get the free kick in a dangerous position. Jim, what are we looking at? 22, 23 yards out, something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. By the time the wall is marched back inside the penalty area by Stuart Atwell, it's a good 5 yards inside the box, almost level with the penalty spot.
Jim, that is perfect distance for Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's not, sometimes you get too close to the 18-yard line, you can't get it over the wall and back under the bar. From where he is right now, and he's the one who's sort of over it with Salah and Jordan Henderson, I would imagine Trent's going to take it. It's perfect for him.
Where's he going with Andy? Whipping it back across?
Yeah, could do.
Top left-hand corner would appear to be the inviting one. He's run over it. Salah drives it well wide. Alexander-Arnold just ran over the top of the ball, shaped as if he was going to shoot. He back-heeled it into the path of Salah, who hit it the other way round the wall with his left foot, but just didn't get it right.
Why? What? Somebody tell me, why does he not have a shot at goal?
What he might do there. I mean,
it's perfect. You mentioned it. It's absolutely perfect for him, Andy. Right? He's one of the best kickers of a dead ball in the country. I understand they're trying to do something different. I get that. However,
he runs over the ball and he just back-heels it, as you say, Jim. The reason that you do that, you just eliminate a couple of men in that wall. If you can move that ball a yard and then Mo Salah hits it like he did, the shot wasn't accurate, it went well wide, but that's the idea. Move the ball a yard, you might take 2 or 3 of that blue wall out.
Good upper body strength exhibited there by Van Dijk, who got the better of his challenge with Havertz. Luis Diaz back in defensive duties, lost out. Chalobah making his way forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Liverpool can repel the threat though, with Fabinho getting it back and turning it away from the dead ball line. Mason Mount soon has the ball at his feet, and Conte's got it. Conte outside the penalty area. He's played it in and just crept wide, but the flag was up anyway. Would have come up against Havertz and Pulisic, who are both in an offside position. It's a free kick which Liverpool will take. It's been goalless through the first quarter of the 90 minutes, but we've seen chances at both ends, and it's been a very easy watch so far.
Well, a good watch. Really enjoyed it. But Chelsea started the brighter. 10-15 minutes, but Liverpool have certainly come back into, as you would expect them to, 2 great chances, Pulisic and Mane, but it's still goalless.
Robertson, for Diaz, off Chalobah, and out of play for the first corner, which will be taken on the Liverpool left-hand side.
That's the first time, Jim, I've seen Andy Robertson pick the ball up on the halfway line, roll it to Luis Diaz in front of him, and then keep going. And as Piliqueta would have it full on to stay with Andy Robertson if the Liverpool man continues to do that. Sometimes you let your wide man get on with it, you give it to Diaz and let him go and do his stuff. Other times you keep going.
And Robertson has taken this corner short, and then Diaz can chip it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. First touch was a potent flick. It's half clear for Van Dijk through a crowd of players, but not through them all. Chelsea knock it away. Now we'll try and work a counter-attacking opportunity. Keita, forced to take one for the team, is going to get a yellow card as he's brought his man down. But it did stop the counter-attack in its infancy. Liverpool had lost their shape as Mount sprinted forward, and Keita's going to get a card.
First thing I've got to say is I can't believe how slow Chelsea were to react to the short corner.
The short corner, definitely. Yeah, once they dealt with that, Ali, they countered on the far side through Mason Mount. Naby Keita is saying, I've got my body in. Mason Mount tried to run him, push it past him and run him, and Keita is saying, I got my body in, I didn't foul. And it looks like it's a Liverpool ball, Jim.
Well, Keita being spoken to by the referee. Mount is furious, and Stuart Atwell just calming the pair of them down, and he's given the free kick Liverpool's way.
Well, and again, I think, look, Thomas Tuchel there, you can see the 2 coaches are having words on that one. But Mount's tried to push it round him, and Keita's kind of saying, I've got my body in to protect it. Yes, the arm's gone up a little bit as it does, it catches Mount, but I think that's the right call. I think Naby Keita's got his body in there, Ali.
You're not letting him in front of you, are you? Let's be honest about it. You're defending for your life here, and you're using your body. He does catch him. I think he intends to catch him in the mouth, which he does, but I think the referee's probably correct there.
Alexander-Arnold sweeps one forward here. Liverpool pushing towards the edge of the penalty area. Rudiger off balance, but did very well to get it away from Salah's run. And goes out for a throw that Alexander-Arnold will take for Liverpool. 2-2 when the 2 sides met 8 weeks ago at Stamford Bridge. All the goals in the first half, both the goals in the first half when they met at Anfield back in August in a controversial game. We saw Reece James set off. Havertz had given Chelsea an early lead. Prior to that, Mo Salah equalised from the penalty spot. The 2 sides also met in the final of this competition back in 2005 when Liverpool scored in the first minute through John Arne Riise. They led almost into the last 10 before Steven Gerrard's own goal, and then Drogba and Cashman scored the decisive goals in extra times that ended up 3-2 Chelsea's way. It's Liverpool looking the more likely right now. Chelsea have had the best chance. Still 0-0. Keita down for Andy Robertson. He's won another corner, firing a first-time left-footed ball in which hit Cesar Azpilicueta. Goalless on TalkSport.
Yeah, I think Liverpool have actually, the last 10-15 minutes have started to dictate proceedings. It's Chelsea that whose attacks a little bit more sporadic at the moment. Liverpool now playing predominantly in Chelsea territory and are kind of asking more questions.
Robertson raises his right arm above his head. It's going to be a left-footed away swinging delivery. Havertz has only flicked it on, appeals for a handball in there. Nothing given at the moment. I'm sure Darren England, the VAR, will be having a look at it, but play does continue. None of the Liverpool players seemed too fussed about the non-award of the penalty. They still have it. It's chipped in towards Matip, who's chested it down. Just tried to set it up for Henderson, but played it the wrong side of him, and Henderson was very quick to let him know Chelsea can clear their lines. It goes out of play for a Liverpool throw on halfway.
There was one or two of them appealing for a handball there, but I don't think there was an awful lot in it. But again, Chelsea been asked a question or two defensively. The deliveries into the box.
Well, the VAR, I'm sure, did have a look at the incident, but play is allowed to resume with this throw. Robertson has got Luis Diaz to his left. It's just a yard in from the touchline. Plays it back for Virgil van Dijk. The game is finished at Ibrox 2-2, so it's as you were. A missed opportunity for Rangers to cut the gap at the top of Celtic to just a point after the boys were held at Hibs earlier today. Salah plays it in here, and Thiago Silva's there ahead of the lively Mane, and then it goes out of play for another Liverpool corner. So much of the play concentrated away to our left-hand side in the last 7 or 8 minutes, but can Liverpool make it pay here?
No, do you know, Son Jim, we said before the game there was nothing between the sides. I've got the first 15 minutes Chelsea's way, the second 15 Liverpool's way. I think it's going to be like that for the majority of the game.
Corner to be taken on the Liverpool right. Matip, Van Dijk, Fabinho, all waiting on the edge of the penalty area. Henderson, Mane and Luis Diaz that little bit further advanced. Chalobah going up for it to head away, and Conte can do the rest. Just a high up and under for him. Salah's done really well to bring it down. It's a sublime touch. He ran round it in the process. He's killed a high ball and turned Havertz all in one movement. Liverpool bring it forward again. Henderson, his lay back was cleared by Conte.
Jim, you're spot on. That was magnificent from Salah. The touch in itself was great, but he turned the touch into an attack.
Luis Diaz has it, much more routine piece of control on the Liverpool left. 1-2 with Keita. Back for Diaz again. Forward and towards Robertson. Robertson helping it round the corner for Mane. Azpilicueta forced to hurriedly stick out a right foot to try and steer the ball clear. And then Mount battles with it. He's appealing that he should go out of play for a Chelsea throw, but it never went over the line, and Liverpool will come again. That one rescued by Robertson.
Chelsea can't get out at the moment. Liverpool are suffocating the game brilliantly right now. Every time Chelsea get it and they're looking down the line, they're looking to try and find Pulisic or Mount. There's a red shirt so close, and they quickly get it back. It's just that final delivery now, Ali, in the box for Liverpool. That's the one component that's just kind of been missing.
Van Dijk with another lovely long ball forward, and the control excellent again from Luis Diaz on his solar plexus, brings it down, drags it back inside the penalty area. Mane setting up Keita, good save. Mane on the follow-up, tremendous save.
Unbelievable save.
Oh, what a stop.
The first one was good enough, the second save is out of this world.
Wow.
And Mane can't believe that he hasn't scored his first League Cup goal for nearly 7 years. That is goalkeeping of the highest order. They spent so long on the training ground with the goalkeeping coaches getting up, making these double saves, and it's all for that moment. He struck it so sweetly. Keita, he dived down to his right, Mendy made the save. Mane 5 yards out, and Mendy's got up, he's thrown his shoulder up, and he's flicked it over the bar. That's as good a save as you'll see this season. In comes the corner from Alexander-Arnold. Coming round the back was Diaz. It's headed away from him, and it goes out of play for a throw. But if you're a striker and the goalkeeper does that against you, big man, you just think it's not going to be your day.
I think that's as good as anything I've seen it anywhere at any level, any time. honestly, his first save when he gets down to his right hand side is a great save, but how he gets up and makes the second save from Mane is absolutely remarkable.
And in a nutshell there, that vindicates exactly why Thomas Tuchel has done what he's done. You know, absolutely why, because that was just incredible work from Edouard Mendy. Brilliant goalkeeping.
Mendy gets it away. Both goalkeepers have made very important contributions so far. The Kelleher save was good. That was world class from Mendy. So it's still, thanks to the keepers, 0-0. Kelleher will get a touch of the ball now away to our right. Hasn't had too many of them recently. Result in the rugby, incidentally, it has finished Ireland 57, Italy 6. And the Italians' losing streak in Six Nations rugby goes up into the mid-30s.
Jim, just one second. Ali, how critical are you of Mane? I mean, is that, it was a brilliant save.
Yeah. Do you know something? Looking at it from Mane's point of view, Andy, with hindsight, and it's great with hindsight, he could have lifted it a little bit higher. He could have lifted it into the roof of the net, because the goalkeeper's, he's getting up from the last save and he's diving across, so if he lifts it, it's a goal all day. However, what a save.
Just brilliant football.
Well, Chelsea do end up winning it. That'll be a moment that gets replayed over and over and over again. He's got a very impressive highlights reel behind him already, Edouard Mendy, but that's the first cut on it now. Kelleher, the ball at his feet away to our right, and just calmly plays it out towards Joel Matip, who finds Trent Alexander-Arnold, chipped into space that came to his first two, and he just tried to lob the ball down the inside right channel for Salah's run, but Thiago Silva was there to head it away. He looks fine, incidentally, after the bang to the ribs that he picked up about a quarter of an hour or so ago. He's all right, doesn't appear unduly affected by that at all. So still 0-0. More action for these two sides coming up this week in the FA Cup. We've got both of the games for you. Chelsea at Luton in the FA Cup 5th round, and that's at TalkSport on Wednesday night, 7:15 kickoff. Liverpool kickoff an hour later at Anfield at home to Norwich, and that one is live for you on TalkSport 2. This one, for silverware, 0-0, but Diaz has done well, and Robertson makes a good run forward down towards the byline, pulls it back to the edge of the penalty area where Marcus Alonso heads it away. Fabinho takes it on, right-footed effort from him, hits the nearest Chelsea player. That took the pace off it, and Mendy could then stop it going out of play for a corner.
What we're seeing now is Robertson and Trent starting to affect the game, Ali, aren't they? They're now high up the field, both fullbacks. Fabinho sitting in front of Van Dijk and Matip, making sure that they try and keep that back door firmly closed, but you're now seeing those influential fullbacks really starting to get a grip of things out there. Trent's passing off the right hand side, and Robertson's sheer running power and determination to get to the byline is really good.
And of course it's the opposite for Chelsea, Andy. The first 15 minutes it looked like a 5 in the middle of the park with Alonso on the left and Azpilicueta on the right. The last 15 minutes it looked like a back 5.
So what does Thomas Tuchel need to do then to try and...
Well, you've got to weather a storm. You can't always come up with something ingenious and something brilliant to suit it, Jim. You've got to hang in there.
Now they are hanging in there at the moment. So they could bring it away on the counter-attack, and the more bodies that Liverpool push forward, the more chances like this for Chelsea. The counter-attack's been sprung. It's Havertz! Kelleher has done enough.
Flag.
But the flag was up anyway.
Get that flag up earlier. Why do we have to do that? Honestly. As soon as you could see that.
I could see it was offside,
and I think half the Wembley Stadium could see it was offside too. But again, as we do, I think when it's a blatant one like that, I honestly think the officials should put the flag up. I really do.
Oh, yeah, look at that. I mean, he's many 2 yards.
2 yards offside. Yeah.
Just put the flag up.
But again, Jim, that was coming back to what you said earlier about that Liverpool high line. Now they caught him there. They stood well, and they caught Havertz a couple of yards offside. But when you defend so close to the halfway line, if the ball is turned over and you can knock it in behind, you can be in business.
Also worth a mention as well, Andy, the goalkeeper doesn't see the flagging up, so it's business as usual for him, and he made a great save.
Liverpool try and push forward again with Diaz, who is just giving a little tug there by Conte, and it's a free kick which will be taken by Liverpool. Think back to the They're going about this time last year in the league at Anfield. Now Liverpool, you remember, in the midst of that really bad home run at the time. But Chelsea were just being able to manoeuvre situations like that at will. They've only got to get one right. But Liverpool did play the offside trap to perfection on that occasion.
Yep. Oh yeah. Look, that's what Klopp wants. He wants Van Dijk and Matip right on that halfway line. So that allows his midfield to engage, and that allows then obviously for Salah and Mane and Diaz to threaten from the front as well. That's the way they play. Every time that Chelsea get the ball, it's a red shirt wanting it back.
Diaz to Mane. Henderson couldn't find Salah, and it's half clear, but only as far as Robertson. Angle ball in, and Salah attacking it at the far post, got his head to it, but from a tight angle, it's only hit the side netting and goes out of play for a goal kick. 9 to go to half time. 0-0 on TalkSport.
Excellent delivery again from Robertson. Alonso knows Salah's coming in behind him, probably just does enough, but it's a great delivery in. I tell you who's been impressive the last 15-20 minutes or so, Diaz. He's just got the better of Chalobah.
He really has hit the ground running since his move to English football. He's only his 6th appearance for the club today, and 2 of those have come off the bench, but it looks as though he's been part of the furniture for years. He's playing on the left. Sadio Mane is the man that is going through the middle, with Salah in his customary position on the right. Andy Robertson's got possession here for Liverpool and finds the aforementioned Diaz, who's about 6 or 7 yards outside the box, just in from the left-hand touchline. Drags the ball back inside, still put under pressure by Azpilicueta, and he's waited back for Van Dijk on the edge of the centre circle. Aerial pass from him. Rudiger heads it away from Salah, and then Alonso will turn it further forward, but Alexander-Arnold on his back foot did well to work it forward again for Liverpool. Chelsea can do a little bit of hair and scarum in the midfield, win possession back. Now Conte looks for the ball over the top. Matip protected the space in front of the penalty area. Kelleher came out and cleared it easily. Fabinho is in there. Keita's found himself sandwiched between 2 Chelsea players. Play goes on with Robertson to Luis Diaz towards the edge of the penalty area. Kovacic in very strongly on Mane. No foul.
Might have been, you know. No, I thought he came in and I thought he was a little bit late.
Yep, he's sort of slightly from the wrong side, Kovacic, but play goes on. Chance now for Chelsea to counter.
With Havertz, for Pulisic. Pulisic straight at Kelleher. And back out towards the right-hand side of the penalty area for Christian Pulisic again. Left-footed ball in this time, headed away by Van Dijk. Kovacic with the touch that turns it back towards halfway. Jurgen Klopp urges his back line to push out. That must have been close to being offside as well. And I think it would have been a close score had Pulisic beaten Kelleher, but the Irishman made another good stop. High ball over the top from Kovacic. Kelleher comes out. Controls it well, patrolling his penalty area. Great hands. Knew his momentum. Was in danger of taking him outside the box, so he got rid of it quickly. Found Luis Diaz. He's then fouled, and it's a free kick on halfway to Liverpool. 39 gone. It's 0-0 here on TalkSport. We'll hear from Ali McCoist in a moment, but here's Andy Townsend.
I just think there, Azpilicueta, that foul on Luis Diaz. He's fortunate not to get the card, Ali. Chance here.
Thought it was a yellow all day.
Diaz wins the corner off contact.
I really did. I thought it was a yellow, Andy. I mean, I know the referee understandably wants to keep his cards in his pocket, but that particular one, it just echoed what I've been thinking the last 10-15 minutes. Diaz has got a real taste, appetite for this game now.
It's a great game, by the way.
Really,
it really is. Just as Liverpool look like they're getting a grip, Chelsea come back and then they throw something at them to ask a question or two and just remind everyone of their capabilities. It really is a great tempo to it.
Robertson to take this corner. It's Liverpool's 4th without reply. 6 attack it, but none of them in that near post area where Kai Havertz can easily clear it. Robertson from a deeper position gets it in. Henderson trying to flick it on. Alonso ducked his head in and could half clear it. Conte scuffs it further outside the penalty area, only as far as Salah, who dropped deep, and now Alexander-Arnold will tease a high ball for Henderson, who controls it on his right knee, brings it down, finds Andy Robertson, looping cross from him, it's too close to Mendy, who got there ahead of Joel Matip, and his handling was very comfortable. 0-0 the scoreline. If you're just joining us, good save early on from Kelleher to deny Christian Pulisic in Chelsea's best move of the game, but A world-class save from Mendy after saving an initial effort from Keita. How he was able to get back and stop Sadio Mane putting the rebound in, few of us know. It was a brilliant stop, and that's why it's still 0-0 with 4 minutes to go to half-time.
Worth saying it again, Jim, Andy, the tempo of this game for 45 minutes is absolutely non-stop.
Alonso drilling one towards the edge of the penalty area, headed back in by Azpilicueta. It falls from again, and Kelleher maybe had stumbled as he was going across to his right-hand side, but the effort from the veteran went over the top left-hand corner.
Tell you what, Azpilicueta gets himself up in support of the play on the edge of the box, comes out to him on his left foot. He's about 20 yards out. He hits it so sweet, and it's only just over.
Great effort, actually, Andy. Mike does a little ball back, give and go, just rising over the top at the last minute.
Doesn't score too many, says Azpilicueta. That would have been a real collector's item with a left foot in a cup final. Ball from Diaz is overhit. A rare poor moment for him. Drifts away from Salah and out of play for a Chelsea throw. Chelsea coming into this on the back of 6 straight wins, including, of course, the World Club Championship final. Haven't won 7 in a row for 2.5 years. Liverpool, for their part, 9 wins in a row in all competitions, and have lost only 2 of the last 49 games going back into last season. Van Dijk, the next header forward. Salah can turn it on, and then Rudiger will let the ball drift to the edge of the 6-yard box for Mendy to come out. Salah hadn't made a run with any conviction because he knew that he was in an offside position, and so he and Mane had linked up. Azpilicueta with the ball at his feet after it was quickly taken. Conte just trying to play the ball forward. Now wrestling with Robertson. The ball stays in, and nothing is given either way.
I think Robertson's have been hard done by there. N'Golo Conte has pretty much wrestled him to the ground.
It's a flyweight division fight anyway.
Kovacic working it out to the left. Alonso. Kai Havertz leading the line for Chelsea, trying to make a darting run through the middle. Pulisic steered it down towards Alonso's run on the left-hand side of the area, and Virgil van Dijk can knock it away.
There's still enough, Jim, from Chelsea to keep Liverpool defensively on their toes. We've said, I think Andy agrees, the last, after 15 or so minutes, Liverpool have certainly been a better team, created a better chances, but Chelsea have still shown enough going forward.
Yep.
They've got a throw, and they're level with the edge of the Liverpool penalty area. 90 seconds plus stoppage time remaining in the first half. Be a couple of minutes to be added on, I would think. Thiago Silva tries to chip one over the top, and Alexander-Arnold got his foot to it as it came down. Kelleher came out and picked it up, and the appeals that it was a deliberate back pass certainly had some substance. Thomas Tuchel very angry that an indirect free kick wasn't given Chelsea's way there. And Liverpool are unable to continue, and they got it with Robertson. And it comes down towards Luis Diaz. Back from him to Fabinho. Fabinho finding Jordan Henderson in the centre of midfield. He plays it out to Trent Alexander-Arnold again. In the 45th minute at 0-0. But very entertaining. Chelsea with Kovacic can work it forward for Pulisic. Pulisic's got Havertz to his right-hand side, tries to play him in. Havertz clipping it in! Oh, he should be 1-0 right at the end of the half, but Mount's put it wide. Great Chelsea move, again on the counter-attack. Mount came to meet it. Slightly awkward bounce as he tried to take it into his stride, and off balance as a result of that. He's hooked it 2 feet wide.
He actually strikes it reasonably well. I think he's got to keep it down. The problem is he doesn't hit the target. That's the main problem. But great link-up play with the three, and Pulisic's Mount and indeed Havertz. That's a tremendous pass. Honestly, I've got to say to you, Andy, I'm critical of him for not hitting the target, absolutely. But his technique to keep it down, he's so unlucky.
Yeah, hits it so sweet and so hard, Mason Mount. But Chelsea equally looking menacing when they counter. That's another glorious chance. It really is. He's not done a lot wrong there. He just hasn't hit the target. Yeah, he couldn't wait for it. He's hit it on the volley. He's hit it hard and true, and it is inches wide of the post. Kelleher wouldn't have even seen it if it had been on target. It would have just flashed into the back of the net.
Well, it could easily have been his 50th senior goal, that Mason Mount. And the longest goal drought by his standards. He hasn't scored in his last 13 games before today. Robertson's got it now for Liverpool. Back to Keita. We're in just a 1 additional minute at the end of this first half. Robertson finding Luis Diaz. To his right-hand side for Keita. Fabinho. Back for Joel Matip. Matip out to the Liverpool right-hand side for Salah. Henderson will be able to pick it up. Back for Alexander-Arnold now into the feet of Salah. Thiago Silva did well. Got in there. Kovacic looking for the quick ball forward to release Kai Havertz. But it will drift over the touchline and out of play, and that will take us in at half-time at 0-0. Hugely entertaining. Mason Mount coming really close to giving Chelsea the lead right at the end of the first half. But Chelsea's clean sheet remaining intact only after one of the saves of the season from Edouard Mendy to deny Sadio Mane. The most important, significant moment of the afternoon still lies ahead of us. TalkSport, half-time, 0-0. Faye, thank you very much indeed. It will be Chelsea that will get us back underway. Blue shirts and shorts and white socks, and they're kicking from right to left in this second half. Liverpool in all red. Chelsea, Mendy in goal, Chalobah, Silva and Rudiger. Azpilicueta, Conte, Kovacic and Alonso. Mount and Pulisic and Havertz. Liverpool, Kelleher in goal. Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Van Dijk and Robertson. Henderson, Fabinho, Keita. Salah, Mane and Diaz. No changes in personnel ahead of the start of the second half, but a great ball right from the off from Kovacic out of the Chelsea right, hooked inside the penalty area. Matip with a defensive header. Kovacic then picks it up and feeds Marcus Alonso on the left-hand side. Really good tempo. Chelsea are going straight at Liverpool from the very off until Marcus Alonso passes the ball away from Rudiger and over the line and out of play for a throw. Great pass from Kovacic at the beginning of the second half, though.
It was, but I'm just surprised Jim and Andy Robertson get caught with two. He got caught with Azpilicueta and Mason Mount, and it came from nothing, but a good pass all the same. You're spot on.
Just watching Thomas Tuchel down there. Marcus Alonso is level with the 18-yard box. He goes to roll it back and unfortunately knocks it straight out for a throw-in. I've never seen anybody go that mad over a misplaced pass as well. I've just seen Thomas Tuchel there, Jim.
Yeah, they both care about it. It might not be the competition that is number one on their agenda, but when you're in the final of it, you certainly want to go on and win it. And it has, over the last 8 years, particularly been a springboard to further success in the season. The last 8 seasons, the side that have lifted this competition have gone on to win something else before the end of May 6 times. Andy Robertson plays it back for Fabinho. Now it goes back to Van Dijk again. Kelleher down towards Matip. Matip almost caught in possession on the edge of his own penalty area. Then he looked as though he was going to feed it back for Kelleher, but calmly, seeing that Havertz was going to be able to cut that out, and sliced it behind Havertz into a teammate, and Liverpool will build from deeper with Van Dijk looking for the diagonal for Henderson that doesn't come off. Marcus Alonso intercepted it. Here's Thiago Silva for Kovacic. Down towards Alonso again. Comes over the halfway line. Left-footed ball through the midfield. Robertson dragged into a central area. Good play by Pulisic to spin it wide for Kai Havertz. Left-hand side of the area. He's gone the long way round Matip.
Wow.
And slices it across the edge of the 6-yard box. Pulisic sliding in. It's almost Gazza-like. Couldn't quite on the stretch get the touch that he wanted to turn the ball over the line and in for 1-0 Chelsea.
Brilliant from Havertz. He fancied the 1v1 with Van Dijk. He does really well. Takes him on. Gets to the byline, cuts it back. Pulisic must have been inches away. They started brightly again, Chelsea.
The brighter in the first half, Andy. They have been in the second.
Tell you what Kai Havertz does well. When he gets himself into those situations, he always offers you something in terms of a chance, a ball across the box. He's very, very good at that.
Here's Mo Salah. Salah poking the ball one side of Rudiger, tried to run the other. And the referee said he went to ground of his own volition. The loose ball just skewed inside the box. Chelsea were allowed to play on. Salah was furious. He was back on his feet, angrily showing dissent to Stuart Atwell, the referee, who's got his cards in his pocket so far, but Salah felt as though that should at least have been a free kick on the edge of the box.
That was that one chance for Mo Salah to set up Antonio Rudiger, run at him. He pushed it one way, tried to run round him the other way like Pele used to.
Now it's shit forward. It's Mason Mount. He's hit the post, and it bounces to safety for Liverpool.
Staggering. Absolutely staggering. He takes a brilliant touch. He looks onside to me. He must score. He takes it down brilliantly. The delivery into him's perfect. He's got all the time in the world. I thought he was going to take a touch. He decided against it. As soon as he took a lovely touch with his chest, side foot, he has to score inside of the post.
Oh, he's well onside, Al. He's miles onside.
Here's Havertz, left-hand side of the area as Chelsea come again. Matip knocks it away. What a let-off, though, for Liverpool. He's missed two great chances, one either side of half-time, in the space of about 5 minutes of action, Mason Mount.
And the run he makes, Jim, is between Trent and Matip. He just darts into that gap between the Liverpool fullback and centre-half. They're holding a line. He's on the move. Time on the ball for the midfield player to pick the pass. Dangerous. Very dangerous, that, for Liverpool. If they keep doing that, they get too static with their defending, then they're going to get picked off.
The ball has gone out of play for a throw. Chelsea thought it should have been a free kick. Pulisic, the player that went down. Two big chances for Mason Mount, and it remains 0-0. I think Chelsea have worked out how they want to unlock this Liverpool back line. It's the question of being able to do it and finding the finish now. Liverpool in possession in Chelsea territory, away to our right. Ball is worked into the feet of Sadio Mane. Alexander-Arnold chipped over the top. Mane's continued his run. Mendy again with great goalkeeping comes out. He's got a sprint to get back on his line, and Diaz couldn't get the ball down quickly enough to be able to get a shot in. Mendy's back in position, and then Kovacic wins the free kick on the edge of the D. That was all a little bit frantic and hair and scarum around the edge of the penalty area, and another good exhibition of goalkeeping. Very different type of save from Mendy, but he's hurt himself in the process.
Jim, it's unbelievable. I'm going to have to have a lie down. I think this is incredible. The pace of the games, it's marvellous. The quality on show, goalkeeping tremendous, missing chance. I've got to say, the only thing that has been lack of it is real quality in front of goal.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. But you know something? It's making it a brilliant game.
Certainly is, yeah. Brilliant work again there from Edouard Mendy. Lovely build-up play for Liverpool involving Trent and Diaz. He pokes it through for Sadio Mane. The goalkeeper comes flying out, Superman-like, throws himself at the ball on the penalty spot to deny Sadio Mane. Brilliant work from him once more.
And it came back off Mendy, it came back off Mendy, and it came straight to Diaz, and you could see Diaz was wanting to play it first time because the goalkeeper was it, but it came at too much pace and they couldn't put it back with a bit of purchase on it.
He's okay, though, Mendy. He just needed some medical attention from the Chelsea staff. But Kepa Arrizabalaga at no stage got out to warm up. Arrizabalaga, who is on the bench. I wonder if it goes to a penalty shootout, what will happen, because Arrizabalaga got such a good record in penalty shootouts now. Whether everything will go full circle from 3 years ago, when he didn't come off and then didn't get the job done for his side in the penalty shootout. Play back underway. Mason Mount has possession. It's gone back for Rudiger. Rudiger lofts it into Liverpool territory where Robertson can head away from Azpilicueta. And now Diaz with a chance to try and take on Chalobah, who has beaten him on this occasion. Sends a brisk back pass back towards Mendy, but he has the time to control it. Side foots it out of harm's way. Chelsea will play the way out with Azpilicueta in the right back position, trying to withstand the pressure from Keita, and he wasn't able to do so really because he just passed it straight over the line and out of play for a throw. You're with TalkSport. Don't forget you can stay one step ahead of everything that's happening in today's Carabao Cup final with the TalkSport Edge app. Our Match Centre gives you faster live scores, plus team news and the latest from your club. And you can download it from the Apple Store or Google Play Store. We're 7.5 minutes into the second half. Jim Crawford talking through the action with Ali McCoist and Andy Townsend, and it remains 0-0, but hugely entertaining.
Yeah, really good fast start to the second period from Chelsea. They immediately come flying out the blocks, beg your pardon, and I watched, just seen a rerun of the Mason Mount chance. Great chance, Ali, that was, wasn't it? I mean, it was a brilliant run, and it just got caught under his feet a little bit. He kind of had to dig it out, and he's ended up hitting the post so close.
Chelsea try and get it forward again. Fabinho can clear. Just an unceremonious long ball forward. Just getting Liverpool further up the field. Reds winning it back with Alexander-Arnold down towards Salah, but by the time he hooked his left foot around it, it had gone over the line, out of play. For a throw that will be taken on the Chelsea left-hand side by Alonso. He's thrown it back towards Silva. Silva chipping it out towards the Chelsea right flank for Azpilicueta, who can knock it forward towards Pulisic. Pulisic to Azpilicueta again, who'll continue his run. Havertz has tried to make a darting run around the back of Joel Matip, who watched him every step of the way to sweep up and get it clear. And then Fabinho finds Mane. Mane's done well on the turn. Good ball out to the left. And Diaz renews his acquaintance with Chalobah. He's inside the area. It's an outrageous check to get it back onto his right foot. Chalobah bought the first one, but recovered quickly enough to deflect the cross when it eventually came away for a corner.
What a run from Diaz on the left-hand side. He certainly fancies it, as I said, against Chalobah. And then he went across it, come back on. I don't know where Andy, my knees went.
Yeah, I did.
It was incredible turn at pace. Almost stopped, started, got the delivery in, and now earned himself a corner.
Which is the first of the second half for either side. And Liverpool's sixth of the game without reply. It's Robertson that stands over it again. A left-footed away swinger into the near post. Didn't get the height. A few of those corners have been knocked away by Havertz.
Not for the first time, Jim. Disappointing delivery from Andy Robertson. A couple of set plays, corner kicks on the left-hand side. He's not beating the first man.
And now Stuart Atwell has just brought a slight halt to proceedings because there's a Chelsea player in need of treatment about 10 yards outside his own penalty area. Is it Azpilicueta, who is just bent double at the moment, not looking too happy, and the Chelsea staff come on to attend to him as necessary. Gives me a chance to tell you what's coming up over the course of the TalkSport network this week. Tomorrow night, West Brom against Swansea, TalkSport 2. And then Tuesday, the FA Cup 5th round starts. We've got Peterborough, Manchester City on TalkSport, Middlesbrough Spurs on TalkSport 2. You won't hear that Peterborough, Manchester City game anywhere else. Wednesday, these two are in action. One of them having won some domestic silverware by then. Chelsea go to Luton, and that's a 7:15 kick-off here on TalkSport. Liverpool at home to Norwich an hour later on TalkSport 2. Then looking ahead to next Saturday, Liverpool's next league game at home to West Ham, a 5:30 kick-off. That again here on TalkSport, and you won't hear it anywhere else. It's a TalkSport exclusive. It's our second TalkSport exclusive of that day. Leicester against Leeds, the first one. What might be Jesse Marsh's first game in charge of Leeds, and Game Day Live in between times with all the news of Chelsea's trip to Burnley, as well as all the goals as they go in elsewhere. Now Chelsea are going to have to make a change here, and Azpilicueta is not going to be able to continue. Reece James's return from injury could hardly be more timely. Injured against Brighton over Christmas, he's missed each of the Blues' last 12 games. Azpilicueta comes off, and James is on to replace him.
Also, you've got to say it's not a bad replacement, is it? I said before the game, Jim, I think Chelsea are a better side with Reece James and Ben Chilwell in it. Obviously Chilwell out for longer term, but a real bonus for Chelsea and indeed the supporters that Reece James is back in the side.
Throw to be taken by Liverpool. Play will eventually restart after about a 2.5 minute hiatus there. And Liverpool with the throw only about 10-12 yards from the corner flag. Thrown in by Robertson, hooked away, brought down by Joel Matip. Everybody apart from Keller inside Chelsea territory at the moment. Alexander-Arnold working it forward. Henderson down towards Salah. Salah coming infield to Alexander-Arnold. Skewered over the top. Henderson hadn't made the run that he thought he was going to make, and Rudiger just lets the ball bounce back for Mendy away to the right-hand side.
Just can't get that right side going as well as they'd like to, Liverpool. I mean, Trent is always so dangerous when he's got the ball at his feet. He's capable of anything. Jordan Henderson's buzzing around and making runs and offering himself, but they're trying to get Mo Salah involved, and they just can't do it enough at the moment.
And Robertson was in there trying to make life difficult for Chalobah. And Mendy gets it clear. Back from Matip. His header falling for Marcus Alonso. Played over the top, and Mount makes the run again. Van Dijk eating up the yards, isn't going to get there. It's flicked back in field. Mount with a shot, and Kelleher saves at the second attempt. His handling good enough to stop it being a tap-in for Pulisic. When Chelsea can break with pace and potency like that, Liverpool look as though they're on the ropes at times.
Andy Van Dijk was just caught in two minds. He should have come from the initial ball from Alonso. He thinks about it and then decides to go. If he goes initially, he stops the danger at source. He allows Mount to get the ball, play a 1-2 with Havertz. 1-2 with Havertz, a give and go with Havertz. The shot comes in. It's a comfortable save. but you initially, with the pass from Alonso, Van Dijk fancied it, changed his mind, and then went.
Alexander-Arnold will take this throw for Liverpool. Still having the majority of possession. It's Chelsea that are creating the more concrete chances, but it remains 0-0. Mason Mount, the ball's just bobbled off him. Gone out of play for a Liverpool throw, which they're in a hurry to take. Henderson, good lead by Mane. Keita, and came to meet it, and there's a nasty collision between him and Chalobah. Play goes on, Liverpool in possession. Both players have stayed down injured. Robertson works it inside the Chelsea penalty area, and it's cleared. And as it then goes out of play, Thiago Silva sprints after referee Atwell to complain about the fact that play was allowed to continue, with Chalobah clearly in a great degree of distress, hurt inside the centre circle.
My initial reaction is I'm agreeing with Thiago Silva there, because I thought when Chalobah went down, you could see immediately by his reaction he'd got a sore one. Oh, and there it is there. It catches the inside of his thigh, right thigh, there's no doubt about it. Maybe could have blown earlier. I know he wants to let play go, I understand it. Oh, but he definitely catches a sore one there, Andy.
Tell you, he does, and it's that one when the ball is bouncing between the two, and Naby Keita is going for it full tilt, but if you don't make contact and your foot is planted on your opposing number's thigh, you're in trouble.
Absolutely.
You can potentially be in trouble with a challenge like that, and I would think it's very interesting in what's happening upstairs right now, Jim, with VAR and the referee, because that was a dangerous tackle. It wasn't deliberate. It most certainly wasn't that, but it doesn't stop it from being a dangerous one. Naby Keita.
Absolutely, he has gone for the ball and very nearly got him. Keita stretching with the studs of his right boot. It was the inside of the upper thigh that he caught Chalobah. It's not the wind out of his sails, and he's still down receiving treatment. The referee appeared to indicate an advantage, actually. Maybe he thought the initial infringement was the other way, and that Chalobah was the guilty party. Darren England's the VAR, but no sign of an on-field decision from referee Atwell that is a potential red card offence. They're just making sure that Chalobah's okay, Alan.
Do you know what it was, Jim, Andy? It was one of those situations where the ball bounces and whoever gets there first has a fair chance of caughing one.
Yeah.
Because
right.
you know what I'm saying? Because both players are committed, totally committed. There's no devilment in the challenge at all. It's totally committed, but the first one that gets there is always going to get caught from the other one.
And it's that sort of game, this one, that you dare not let a ball bounce. You don't hesitate. Neither team are doing that. Both teams are flat out, full throttle. And it's an inevitable consequence now and again that players will get hurt. I'm just glad, actually, that the referee has decided that he's given Chalobah a chance to get himself sorted out, get back involved, and we get on with the game.
So Keita's received treatment. He's okay. He's going to be coming back on in a moment. Chalobah also is back on his feet and all right. Play has restarted. Neither man has been given permission to come back on. They do come on now. Fabinho playing it back for Robertson. Robertson to Kevin Kelleher, way to our left. Just one shot on target in the second half so far. Mason Mount, though, has hit the post, should have scored. And Chelsea will feel that they should be ahead with the chances that have gone west for them. You're just joining us. One save of breathtaking quality from Mendy in the first half, denied Sadio Mane, but Liverpool have only had 2 shots on target as well in the entire game so far. Fabinho's got the ball. He's played it back for Virgil van Dijk, who goes square to his right for Joel Matip, and then the press from Chelsea. Mount engaging. Matip's played round him, and now we'll work it forward into the feet of Luis Diaz, but Thiago Silva was there first. Diaz had some lovely moments in the first half. Haven't got the ball to him as much in the second, Liverpool. Chelsea can bring it forward here with Havertz to Marcus Alonso, a yard in from the left, 10 yards from the corner flag, and Chelsea win their first corner of the afternoon.
Well, Marcus Alonso, though, makes a really good run outside Kai Havertz. Havertz just rolls him in, and of course that's the problem. When you look up, you see Mason Mount and Pulisic a little bit reluctant, Ali, to put the cross in, but gets the corner.
Mount stands over it. So Chelsea got James Ford inside the 6-yard box. Chalobah on the edge of the 6. Havertz making a run from much deeper. Rudiger's in there to attack it as well. It's beaten everybody. Sailed out to the far side of the penalty area. and was cleared, and Conte, under duress from Salah, forced to go all the way back to his goalkeeper. His clearance was a poor one. Fabinho pokes it forward. Mendy sprinting back. Liverpool plays Salah in on the edge of the penalty area. Dink over the goalkeeper. Brilliantly cleared off the line. Sensational defending from Thiago Silva, who has covered 50 yards in the blink of an eye to get back, throw himself at it and flick it away. Salah mystified as to how he hasn't scored. Mendy hugely relieved, and miraculously it stays 0-0.
You better believe he's relieved. But I'll tell you something, Salah's onside. I'm not sure it's going in. Right? It's a lovely dink over it. Thiago Silva does really, really well to get back, Andy. Does it get in?
He doesn't give it up, Thiago Silva. I'm with you, Ali. I think it's drifting. Whoa, just wide of the post.
And now the corner is played in, and Luis Diaz couldn't quite get there on the edge of the 6-yard box, and Liverpool work it away. I too agree that it wasn't going in. Silva didn't know it, certainly couldn't take the chance. The bottom line is, though, that Mo Salah should have scored.
Absolutely.
It should be his first ever League Cup goal, another one against his old club, but it isn't, and it remains 0-0, and we've got 25 minutes to go.
Jim, the first time today that is for Mo Salah, where he's able to run free of a blue shirt, pick his head up and have a look at the goalkeeper. The very first time, and you're spot on. He should be converting that.
It's amazing. I'll say it again, Andy. We're really enjoying this game, Jim. It's a fantastic game. Wonderful teams, wonderful talent on show. Where they are, they're letting themselves down is a level and quality of finishing.
Henderson spraying it wide for Salah. Good control from him again. And Marcus Alonso's fouled him, and it's a free kick to Liverpool. 5 yards outside the penalty area, almost in the exact same position as the one they had in the first half, where Alexander-Arnold rolled it for Salah, who drilled it wide. Will it be a change of routine this time around?
Well, I would have thought so. If I'm Trent this time, you're picking the ball up and saying, right, step away everybody else. I'm having this one. I want this one. Robertson has actually come over because it's off of Liverpool's right side. He may feel he might have the better shape with the left foot, Ali. I don't know.
I think he will. Salah will probably fancy it as well, Andy. But I think you're spot on it, unless Trent Alexander-Arnold comes across it again, whips it back where it came from, kind of free kick. But they've got options. They've certainly got options. You would think after the first one in the first half, Andy, they'll certainly have an attempt at goal here.
So Mendy stands by the near post as we look at him, and is just trying to manoeuvre the wall into the right position. He's got 6 players. I don't think it's going to be a wall of 6. Now Rudiger has now vacated the scene. Are they going to stick a wall of 4 with one down behind? No, they're going for a wall of 4. Alexander-Arnold clipping it in, heading back across the face of goal, and put in for 1-0 to Liverpool. Alexander-Arnold with the delivery. It's headed down. And is it John Matip that has come into the far post, who's been able to bundle it over the line from no more than 2 feet out. Liverpool with the breakthrough, and the Reds lead midway through the second half by a goal to 0, just over 20 minutes away from their first domestic cup triumph in a decade.
They did something again which we didn't expect. Certainly Andy and I didn't expect it. We thought they were a shot at goal. They didn't. They played in the back post area. Mane does brilliant with the header back across, and he gives Matip the simplest of touches. There's a brilliant block. There is a brilliant block. I think Reece James gets blocked by Van Dijk at the back post. It's brilliant. Absolutely fantastic block, and it allows Mane the free header, who does well. It gets through Rudiger's legs, and it's a very, very simple finish for Matip. Really well worked free cut. Make sure, no doubt about it, the block is a training ground move, no doubt.
Well, that block is something we've seen on several occasions on attacking corners for Liverpool over the course of this season in the Premier League. It's often Henderson that will stand there, but what they're looking at, the VAR, is whether or not John Matip was onside.
Well, it's whether it's Van Dijk is classed as being in an offside position. It looks like he is, Jim, and he affects Reece James by blocking him. So it looks like this one may not stand. Van Dijk is definitely in an offside position. He blocks Reece James, and it allows Mane to spin round the back. I think they might just rule this one out.
Yeah. Well, he's going over to have a look at it. on the referee review area. Now that often doesn't happen for an offside call on the basis that you're either offside or you're not. This one they have to decide whether he's interfering with play.
Jim, there's absolutely no doubt he's interfering with play because he allows Manny the space. It's a rehearsed free kick that Liverpool have worked, and to be fair to them, they've worked it superbly well. The factor now is, was Van Dijk in an offside position when he's making the block on Reece James? For me, he is, so therefore the goal should not stand.
And he's not going to. And that roar is from the Chelsea supporters to our left-hand side, with the news that it has been chalked off. It remains 0-0, an offside call against Virgil van Dijk.
Oh, and when we're talking about the fine margins, Faye spoke at half-time about cigarette paper between these teams. Nothing more exemplifies it than that, what we've just seen there. Inches, Van Dijk, inches offside. But, quite right, the decision is a correct one. Well done, the VAR guys, they got there in the end.
And that's why you have it.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you've got to get the big calls right. And they have done that. And as a consequence, the Joel Matip goal doesn't stand, and it remains 0-0 with just over 20 minutes to go.
This game is absolutely everything apart from the obvious. And that's a goal, but safe to say we're really enjoying it.
Alonso, play the ball forward. Mason Mount. Back towards Conte. Salah's done well to come back and get possession back. Luis Diaz is played in on the left-hand side of the penalty area. He tries to drag it in. He's just missed Mane. Sliding chance from Thiago Silva. Puts it behind for a corner. It's Liverpool in the ascendancy. But can they make it pay?
The two of them. Silva does brilliant. Rudiger, Andy, they're livid with the wee fella. The wee fella gives it away so cheaply. And it's so unlike him, Jim. Kante gives the ball away for free. And they get a real chance. Diaz goes down the left-hand side. He gives it away. Right, he switches off for a minute. But I'll tell you what, they get it to Diaz. He fancies it as he's fancied it all night. The covering from Thiago Silva is brilliant. But the reaction of Silva and Rudiger and letting the wee fella know, wow, they weren't slow.
Yeah.
And you're not missing anything because Mendy's down hurt again, and this is a fresh injury. That was a coming together as he came towards the near post area. The ball had been swept away, but there was a coming together between him and Mane, and he just got caught above the shin. He's okay, he's back on his feet. Liverpool to take the corner. It's an in-swinger this time. Mendy comes out, gets stuck in traffic, it's flicked away, back in from Luis Diaz and headed clear by Mount. It'll come out towards Andy Robertson. Robertson plays it down towards the Liverpool left. A clever little backheel flick from Alexander-Arnold, and he continues his run, and he gets the chance to deliver. Chalobah can clear that one. And then Pulisic will just hammer living daylights out of it to get it back into Liverpool territory, just to allow Chelsea a little breather, because this is Liverpool very much on the front foot now. 0-0 the score. They've had the ball in the net. Rightly, we think, goal disallowed for an offside in the build-up. Van Dijk in an offside position, interfering with play, blocking off Reece James and preventing him from his defensive duties before Matip could score. 0-0 it remains, and still after all the drama we've had, the most significant moment lies ahead of us. Chalobah goes back to his goalkeeper, and Mendy takes a touch, clears it with his second towards halfway. Romelu Lukaku is getting ready. He's going to be coming on in a moment. Second change for Chelsea. They play the ball forward now, the Blues, but Kelleher's very lively in coming outside his penalty area to be able to knock it away. In fact, Lukaku's coming on as part of a double change because Werner will be brought on as well, and then another free kick is given away, and this might be the first yellow card of the afternoon. Is it for N'Golo Conte? No, it's just been spoken to by the referee. Kate is back on his feet, and Chelsea will make the change. So the first player to be coming off is Mason Mount, and Romelu Lukaku is coming on to replace him. Lukaku, suffice to say, will feel that he has a point to prove. And Thomas Tuchel just comes up, gives him a reassuring arm round the shoulders, a slap on the back of both of the shoulders as he walks away. The second change is going to see Werner replacing Pulisic. So a double change for Chelsea. Mount and Pulisic off, Lukaku and Werner on.
Yeah, and I think the right call, because Liverpool are really put to the floor right now. And I mentioned about you've got to weather a storm sometimes. They did it in the first half, but I think Tuchel feels like he needs that more energy. He needs Chelsea's ability to counter and counter very swiftly and quickly, because at the moment they're getting penned in deep into their own half alley.
Do you know what I do as well, and I don't know whether you agree or not? You're absolutely right. Liverpool so much on the ascendancy. If I'm Lukaku, I'm playing on Matip rather than Van Dijk.
Now Robertson taking this free kick, left-footed, swung in towards Virgil van Dijk, half clear, brought down by Diaz, couldn't get a shot in on the turn. Reece James gets it clear, and Robertson's got plenty of time to run round it, pick it up and find Naby Keita inside his own half. 0-0 then with 16 minutes of normal time to go, extra time and penalties on the agenda. There's a lovely touch from Diaz, turn around the corner, chipped inside the penalty area but behind Salah, who really goes up through the gears to be able to keep it in on the right-hand touchline. Alexander-Arnold again, left-footed ball flicked in from him, hits Conte, back for Alexander-Arnold, chipped over the top too much ahead of Salah and through towards Mendy.
We've got to mention that bit of skill. I mean, that was playground. The last time I seen that was in the playground. He flicked it with the outside his left foot and went round the player and took it on the other side.
Luis Diaz might be playing as well as any Liverpool player out there. He is enjoying his day, he's enjoying himself, and when he gets the ball, every time he gets it, can he make something happen?
Chelsea bring it forward down the right, Kai Havertz chasing after it, play back for Kelleher. Lukaku paying lip service of putting him under pressure, he was able to clear it easily, the Irishman. It's brought down by Matip. Henderson back for Alexander-Arnold. What a pass that is! Alexander-Arnold for Luis Diaz, he's in, Chalobah can't get there, Mendy makes the save. The pass from Alexander-Arnold was sublime, from right back to inside left, perfectly weighted. Diaz took it into his stride, Mendy got his angles right.
Two of them switch off, Chalobah and Reece James switch off. It's brilliant from Diaz, and the pass is absolutely terrific, but it should not be happening defensively from Chelsea's point of view. But what a chance, again Mendy to the rescue. Andy, you're spot on, Diaz is one of the best players in the park at this moment in time.
It's a great chance for him there, but he's just electric every time the ball's in and around him. He operates at such a speed.
Alexander-Arnold to swing this corner in from the Liverpool left, much more air underneath it. Coming around the back is Diaz, who heads it down. It hits Thiago Silva on the midriff and is cleared. The appeals for handball only came from the Liverpool fans. He's out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Liverpool right. They're turning the screw, but they haven't found a way through. Chelsea haven't had the success they have had over the last 400 days or so under Thomas Tuchel without being able to weather the odd storm. They are doing that successfully at the moment. Such a good defensive record and holding on here. But more work for the Chelsea back line to do. There's a little shove, but the referee said nothing in that. Rudiger was the perpetrator. Ball's gone out of play. No foul on Mane, and it's a goal kick which will be taken by Mendy with 14 minutes to go at 0-0.
So when you're in a situation like this where you're getting penned back, you're getting sent further back towards your own goal, Tuchel's made the changes, he's brought Lukaku on. Now be a proper 9, Ali. Be a 9, hang on to it, hold it up, bully Van Dijk, get in the front of Joel Matip when he wants to come and hit it. Your team needs you to give you a breather.
Also on top of that, you've probably got the perfect ally with Werner, whose pace while your team are under pressure could be vital.
And Ben has done well to take Matip out of the picture and find Lukaku. Lukaku trying to bludgeon his way past Fabinho. The loose ball was picked up by Werner. It's back from him to Kovacic. And N'Golo Conte couldn't get a shot in. Great defending from Mane, who tracked all the way back and just put his right foot in front of it. Now it's worked over the top for Werner. Clipped in. What a save from Kelleher, but he can't keep it out. Only for the flag to come up. And Havertz is the latest player denied.
Yeah, he's offside. I mean, what a game. Andy, what a game of football.
Brilliant.
Get back to the instant prior to it. Kovacic plays him a beautiful ball. He should be hitting it first time. He takes a touch, it gets blocked. I beg your pardon, the attack continues. I know it's offside, Andy, you know it's offside.
Yeah.
Just put the flag up.
Yeah, put it up. They're 3 or 4 yards offside there. There's 3 blue shirts. They're miles offside. And it's silly to let play continue. Players can get hurt when you let play go.
Exactly.
So you've got to be a little bit careful sometimes. When it's blatantly off like it was there, 3 yards, get the flag up and let's stop the game and get on with it.
Yeah, it was Werner in the initial phase of play that was the one that drew the flag. And Chelsea work it back for Mendy. Mendy controls it and then pings it down towards the Chelsea left. Oh, good flick on from Alonso towards Werner. Flag might come up here as well. Werner able to bring the ball forward though inside the penalty area, cross the face of the 6-yard box. Cleared by Robertson. All eyes on the assistant referee. No flag came up. Liverpool will work it forward. They've got a double change to be made as well. In a moment it's going to be Milner and Elliott who are going to be coming on for the Reds. And Henderson is the first player coming off. Well, some moment this for Harvey Elliott. A reward for his self-belief and persistence in being able to get through the hard yards and months on the treatment table after the injury that he picked up early season. He's on. James Milner, who has seen it all and more in a career that has brought more than 800 appearances at club level. He comes on for Naby Keita. He's only ever scored once against Chelsea, James Milner, and it was 20 years ago. The final change, Mane is coming off and Jota is on to replace him. Milner's got the captain's armband, triple change with 10 to go in normal time.
Yeah, Trent Alexander-Arnold actually just a few moments ago got himself caught in a bad position.
He did.
Didn't he, Ali? And all of a sudden the ball was just clipped in behind and Timo Werner ran onto it, and I'm thinking, go on son, keep going towards the goal. Keep going. You might just find you can get a shot away yourself. In the end he opted to go for the byline and the cutback, and the red shirt managed to block that cross.
And just a line about Harvey Elliott as well. Until Thiago Alcantara was injured in the warm-up, Elliott wasn't involved today, and it's only because of that change that Keita had to start that Elliott was called up, and now he has the chance to come on and play in a major final at the age of 18. You just wonder if the script is written. Chelsea get a free kick.
Lucky Andy.
It's Jota on Kovacic was how Stuart Atwell saw it. Not many in the crowd agreed with it.
He's a lucky boy there, Kovacic. He just dwells a little bit on the ball, and it's 3 red shirts. Fabinho, it was Jim in the end, who really applied the pressure.
So Chelsea have a free kick. They've taken it too quickly. Jurgen Klopp is in the ear of fourth official Andy Madley, and Stuart Atwell will just come over and find out what they've been talking about. I think he's got a fair idea. Jurgen Klopp hated that decision, and they're just discussing the whys and wherefores of it now. No yellow card shown to Klopp, and Andy Madley just politely asked him to desist. Free kick then to Chelsea, taken, chipped over the top, Matip stretching, got it away. Fabinho now with the ball at his feet. 81 gone, it's 0-0. Here's Elliott, ball played forward through the midfield.
Brilliant.
Lovely step over from Salah, wide by Jota. Here's Diaz running at Chalobah again. Left hand side of the penalty area, checks as he loves to do, pulls it back. Can they deliver? Salah right footed over the bar from Milner. And that 20-year wait for a goal against Chelsea goes on.
It's a great move. You can see, you can feel Liverpool fans get excited. Chelsea the complete opposite. Every time Diaz gets the ball on that left-hand side in a 1v1 situation with Chalobah, Chalobah was praying that Reece James would come back and give him a bit of cover. He did do that. The ball eventually broke. Salah tried to play a little ball into the path of Milner, who was off balance with the finish. But they'll certainly get some joy down that left-hand side with Diaz.
Mendy to take this goal kick. Which of the two sides will be able to find the breakthrough? If indeed either of them can. 0-0 in the Wembley final. Well, you can all think back to a few of those that have been in the past that haven't really been worth watching. They've been high in tension and low in quality. This, far from it. It's been a belter.
Yeah,
this best 0-0 you'll see all season.
Correct, Jim. This has been fabulous stuff from literally the first minute. It really has. There's been so much commitment from both sets of players. It's been great to watch.
Silva playing it wide. 3 for James to try and hit as he chips it in. Alexander-Arnold stops it, finding Werner. Cross towards the far post that is cleared. Elliott then battles with Marcus Alonso. Kovacic is first on the scene. Finds Timo Werner. Pulled back by him to Marcus Alonso. Alonso to Kovacic to Conte, who's got Chalobah in support, but he's gone back to the more experienced Thiago Silva. He has time to take a touch and fire it out towards James on the Chelsea right, on as a substitute for the injured Azpilicueta. James and Havertz exchange passes, and then Conte works it back. Chelsea maintaining it, but still force-sided.
Two brilliant balls. Silva's played out to the right hand side to Reece James, who should be taking a touch and delivering for Lukaku, but he hasn't.
Correct, Ali. Now Lukaku's on. When you get it wide, get it out your feet and put it in there. You know, with the clock is running down. We've got 5 plus a few bits and bobs to add on. Get it in that box.
Kelleher has just, and I mean just, stopped the ball going out of play for a corner. There was a double Salco triple pike in there as he's somehow managed to pick it up. He's thrown himself backwards, almost turned himself inside out, and showed the ball to the assistant referee instead of kept it in. So no corner, he was allowed to play on. Lukaku is able to pick it up on halfway. A backheel flick from him, and Milner has intercepted it, and now Harvey Elliott's got it for Liverpool. Elliott, that's a nice pass as well. It's pinged out towards Salah. Slightly difficult for him to control maybe. Marcus Alonso was quickly there. Clears it, puts it out of play for a throw to Liverpool. You're with Talk Sport, 6 to go. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. Jim Pravitt, Ali McCoist and Andy Townsend talking through the action here at Wembley. Faker Others in the chair. Dr. McCarthy, our in-stadium producer here, with Harvey Elliott bringing it forward for Liverpool to find Salah. Salah turning across the edge of the penalty area. Alexander-Arnold just cushions it back into his path. Salah chipping it in, left-footed, and Chalobah had no option but to head it away for another corner. Now, as we've been saying, these deliveries haven't been great by and large. They've hit the near post quite frequently when Robertson has taken them, but he's gone out to take this one, and he's taken it short. He's found Salah. It's back for Robertson again. He's got time to deliver. Low ball in. Couldn't get it out from underneath his feet. Diaz, and when he does, Mendy makes a great save. Venice makes another save at the feet of the next promising Liverpool player. Conte clears it, and Mendy's man of the match performance continues.
It's brilliant, but Andy, how can Chelsea possibly allow that short corner to be taken and not get 2 men out to it?
Switching off again.
It's incredible.
It's the second time they've done it. It's not like it's the first time and they've turned their backs on it. It's the second time they've switched off and allowed Liverpool to play a short corner. And then Mendy again, talk about stepping up and making the difference. Brilliant stops, and the ball's hovering around the middle of the 6-yard box. It's begging for a red shirt to get on the end of it, and they just couldn't.
Matip plays it back, way back to Colleen Kelleher. He's been a spectator really for the last 20 minutes or so. Fabinho down towards Salah on the Liverpool right. 4 from him to Elliott, back for Salah again, knocked away by Thiago Silva, and the Chelsea counter-attack could be on with Werner, shown inside by Alexander-Arnold, shown into traffic was Fabinho was there. Jota trying to make life difficult. It's played forward by Conte. Havertz chasing it, but Liverpool get it back for Kelleher. It's good play by Milner. Kelleher's clearance is handed out by Kovacic in the midfield for Timo Werner. Goal for either side now may well be the winner with 86 on the clock. It's N'Golo Conte in possession for Chelsea. And he goes back for Thiago Silva. Forward towards Conte, straight back for Chalobah. Chalobah's got James to his right, and that is the pass that he plays. Havertz making an early run forward, would have been offside, didn't get there anyway. Alexander-Arnold waves the right leg at it. Can't stop the ball going to Marcus Alonso. Lukaku with a little shove, and the free kick has been given Liverpool's way. Foul on Fabinho, and a free kick to the Reds inside their own penalty area with 3.5 minutes of normal time to go.
Jeff, what a game of football, Andy. I'll tell you the main reason I'm delighted with that Mendy save. I think we're going to get another 30 minutes of this.
Good shout. Good shout.
Ecstatic. Another 30 minutes. It'll do me lovely.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. It's brilliant, and this is why everybody loves. I mean, I know this is a cup competition. This is why everyone loves our Premier League, because when you get our teams playing like this with 100% commitment, and there are fouls going on out there, Jim. Players are bouncing back up off the floor. They're getting on with it, as we always know they do. You know, it's great to see.
Fabinho the ball over the top. Liverpool bring it down again on the left-hand side of the area with Diaz. Diaz has got Milner making a run on the overlap. He's backheeled it into his path. Very optimistic. Cries of handball as the cross from Milner came in, and Chelsea might be able to hit on the counter-attack. Conte's travelled with it, feeds Havertz. Lukaku's made his way into the middle. Werner and Alonso are there as well. It's gone back for Conte. It's chipped in towards Werner, and just as he was pulling his right leg back to shape for a volley, Alexander-Arnold heads it away from him. A deft touch, but an important one, out for a Chelsea throw.
And it's the wrong option, Andy, because I'll tell you right now, he's backpedaling Trent Alexander-Arnold, so therefore Timo Werner has to attack the ball and get up over him, get a header back into the area.
Conte for Kovacic. Foul by Jota on Conte. It's about 7 or 8 yards into Liverpool territory. That threat of the counter-attack is always there for Chelsea though, as Liverpool push the bodies forward increasingly, trying to get the job done in 90 minutes. Alonso back for Kovacic, and he's worked it wide. Robertson defending narrow, and that's left space for Reece James on the Chelsea right. Diaz wasn't there in time. Back for Thiago Silva. A minute and a half to go. There's going to be 5 minutes, I would imagine, at least, to be added on because of the VAR calls and also a couple of injuries as well. Kovacic couldn't quite steer it down the line. Alexander-Arnold read it well because Alonso made a good run on the overlap. Liverpool, they work it forward, and Salah is pulled down by Kovacic. Knew exactly what he was doing there. The referee's done everything he can to keep his cards in his pocket, but there's no justification whatsoever for not producing a yellow card there. So Kovacic is in the book. Had to take one for the team, just brought Salah down to stop the counter-attack.
And he had to, and the reason for him doing that, because Thiago Silva dived in and got a little bit caught wrong side. He got caught wrong side, great play from Jota. All of a sudden Liverpool were on a break. Kovacic, no other option for me.
Alexander-Arnold chips it over the top. Thiago Silva is back, and it's just gone over the line and out of play for a corner which Thiago Jota has won. By the time Alexander-Arnold takes it, we will be in stoppage time. He's striding forward. He's not racing forward to take it, but he's walking with real purpose. And he applauds the Liverpool fans at that end of the ground before he leans down, gets the ball, puts it on the quadrant, and now we'll spot it down to take it. And we go into stoppage time, and there are 6 extra minutes. We start with Liverpool's number 66, standing on this corner quadrant, slams it inside the penalty area. Another brilliant save from Mendy. It's a flying header, came in. Another handball shot waved away by the referee. Chelsea bring it away. Salah has fouled Kovacic, but Mendy just add another one to the list.
This is unbelievable. Honestly, the 6 minutes added time, this could finish 2 each. It's incredible. The amount of chances. Another great save from Mendy. It's a free kick, takes the pressure off Chelsea. Salah fouls Kovacic, but another save from Mendy. What a game he's having.
He's having an incredible game. And again, no red shirt actually just in that area, Ali, because the goalkeeper makes a good stop and he parries it down, and it's a tap-in if someone's on the move.
Exactly what I'm thinking about from a centre-forward's point of view, Andy. Anything you're sniffing about there? No, I know he comes out, he takes the block, but not for me, Jim. I think it hits his arm, but I don't think there's a penalty at all, and rightly so, they're playing on.
Yeah, there's a handball shout against Kovacic from the Salah shot. He did have his arm in a natural position within his silhouette, right across the front of his body. Couldn't put it anywhere else really. Now Lukaku has it, and Lukaku has got Werner to his left-hand side, and it's a brilliant block from Alexander-Arnold, but flags up anyway, and it's a free kick which Liverpool have taken quickly. 4.5 minutes of stoppage time to go. Liverpool play out from the back with Salah to Van Dijk.
Another instant there where the flag probably should have gone up earlier. It was Lukaku that was offside in the build-up to the move. But the tempo, normally games, Andy, normally the tempo slows within games, maybe about 60, 70 minutes. It's quickened. This is relentless.
Salah to Diaz. He's taking on Chalobah. He's gone outside him this time. Ball played in, blocked by Silva. Off him, out of play for another corner. Liverpool's corner count in the double figures. And this one is on the left flank when they're in no real hurry to take it. Understandably. 4 minutes of stoppage time to go. So they're in no real hurry to take it. Somebody has to. And at the moment, nobody is showing any willingness whatsoever to go out there. Alexander-Arnold will now. Applauded again by those Liverpool fans. The other side this time, this on the Liverpool left. So Jota stands on the edge of the 6-yard box. Diaz is deeper. Van Dijk on the edge of the penalty area, along with Joel Matip. Fabinho by the penalty spot. Plenty of movement in towards the near post. It's off a Chelsea head. It was Alonso that got his head to it. Back out for Diaz. Diaz clipping it back into a very congested 6-yard box. Back in from Milner as Chelsea half clear. They've won it again with James to get it away. Now a shot from Alexander-Arnold from distance. The ball hit the referee after Fabinho's touch. It's going to be a drop ball to Liverpool in a central position about 15 outside the penalty area.
And I'll tell you something, this is an interesting decision, because I thought Fabinho had lost control of the ball.
Right.
Is that fair?
Sort of, Ali. He looked like he had. But I think nowadays Liverpool kind of had the last touch on it. Yeah, before it hits the referee. It's the team that tends to get it back. Got a player down on the far side, Jim. I'm not sure that is Reece James. And that's just giving everybody a much needed breather.
None more so than us.
It's true.
James is okay, he's back on his feet. So we've got 2 minutes and 15 seconds. It's going to be elongated a little bit, stoppage time. I mean, extra time is heavily odds on, but you just don't know in this game. Free kick goes Chelsea's way now as Liverpool try to work it short. Jota's fouled Kovacic. He's going to stay down. I think he'll be okay without the need for any treatment. He's going to get back to his feet, but it will be a free kick which will be taken by Chelsea by Tony Rudiger in the 95th minute of a pulsating but goalless League Cup final. Rudiger sending a high ball forward, Werner chasing after it. Alonso can bring it down. Alonso will try and get away from Alexander-Arnold. He got the cross in. Oh, Lukaku with a little flick at the near post, and Kelleher, as if it was just a routine training session, just threw a right foot at it and knocked it away. But Lukaku very nearly won it for Chelsea.
What a touch from Alonso. Does brilliant. You think the ball's going out for a by kick to Liverpool. He doesn't. He gets his foot around the back of it, and Lukaku just sticks a foot out, and it's a good save.
Is that his first touch?
One of the first. One of the first, but he very nearly only needed
just
one.
Nearly squeezed that in at the near post. He really did. Kelleher again had to be alive. Good work from Marcus Alonso down the left. Persistent work from him. Just give him anything to attack. That's all you want as a striker. It hasn't got to be perfect, is it?
Just put it into an area, let him attack it.
Diving header back to his goalkeeper was well timed by Chalobah. He's found Mendy. The game, if anything, has just been a little bit more fragmented over the last 6-7 minutes or so. That's understandable. The tempo hasn't relented, as the guys have been saying. Alexander-Arnold just caught there by Werner, who's able to emerge with possession, and Chelsea win a throw. About 25 seconds to go, plus whatever the officials deem is necessary to add on. It could be about the same again. Throw taken by Alonso into the feet of Havertz. Back for Marcus Alonso again. It is still 0-0. Werner to Kovacic. Kovacic shipping it over the top. Lukaku making a run. Van Dijk's there with him. Neither got them out of play for a goal kick, and we will be going to extra time.
Looks like it now, Jim, which absolutely no complaints from the three of us, I can guarantee you that. This has been enthralling. Non-stop. Hasn't slowed down for a minute. How both goalkeepers have kept clean sheets to this point has been absolutely remarkable, to tell you the truth, other than the fact they've made some fantastic saves. What a game of football.
When Mendy has the sort of games that he has today, it's happened a few times this season, Jim, isn't it? He has some of those games where he's just unbelievable. I mean, every decision he's making, he made one mistake with his foot, with the ball at his feet. That aside, his hands have just been immense.
Well, he is one of the principal reasons it is still 0-0. He's had one of the games of his life. Chelsea hanging in there in the weight of Liverpool pressure, but Chelsea themselves missed some glorious opportunities to get it done by now, notably Mason Mount, who put one wide and hit the post. We've got another 30 minutes of this to come. It's Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. Well, I must admit, as a neutral, one of the very few neutrals in Wembley today, no skin in the game, I can just sit back and enjoy it, really. Don't have the stress levels that many will, but it's had you on the edge of its seat. It's just been brilliant. Liverpool making a change, going into extra time. Konate for Matip, Andy.
Yeah, maybe whether they feel just with the injection of pace that Liverpool have with Lukaku and Timo Werner now in particular, that they just need that little bit more insurance there. Matip's, as ever, always such a reliable player, but Konate now, fresh legs, extremely powerful and athletic defender.
I also think, Andy, there was a couple of times towards the end of the match here, Matip got away with it a little bit.
Yeah,
he took a couple of chances. You and I looked at each other, maybe there's an element of that also.
Maybe.
Well, Konate has never lost the game as a Liverpool player. He is on for extra time. We are underway. Chelsea blue shirts and shorts, white socks, and they're kicking from left to right in this first period of extra time. They've got Mendy in goal, Chalobah, Thiago Silva and Rudiger the back three. James at right wing back, Conte, Kovacic and Alonso across the midfield with him. And then they've got Havertz and Werner in support of Romelu Lukaku up front. Liverpool, Kelleher in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson, Milner, Elliott and Fabinho in midfield. Salah, Jota and Luis Diaz are the front three. Van Dijk controls it on his chest, knocks it forward, knocked away by the Chelsea back line with Tony Rudiger. Comes down for Chalobah. Chalobah's ball forward, be chased by Lukaku, and then Van Dijk can just lay it out towards Andy Robertson. Conte, Fabinho has it. Havertz puts the pressure on him, and Virgil van Dijk wins it back and goes square to his right hand side for Konate. Konate out to the right for Trent Alexander-Arnold. This is going to be another heartbreaking Wembley day for Chelsea. It's the sixth successive season in which they've reached the domestic cup final. They've lost 4 of the last 5. Only success in that time, the 2018 FA Cup. Alexander-Arnold in possession for Liverpool. And he's played it back for Kelleher. It's often the way, actually, that when you get a game go to extra time and it's been fast and frenetic, the first 7-8 minutes of extra time can often be just a little press of the reset button, really. Both sets of players having a little breather in action, calming themselves down. Not the ferocious breakneck tempo at the moment that it was, as Elliott plays it down for Luis Diaz. Another lovely turn. He's had a fine day. Robertson playing it in here, headed away by Marcus Alonso. Fabinho going up for it with Timo Werner. Fabinho down for James Milner to Robertson. Robertson playing it down the line. Luis Diaz chasing after it. So he's unlucky. He tried to control it with his right foot to keep it in. In doing so, he's fallen over. He's just banged his glutes. He's done that. I think he's okay. He's back on his feet. But the net result was a goal kick to Chelsea, which Mendy is going to take. And it's 0-0 with 3 minutes of extra time gone.
Just there, that ball from Andy Robertson was a simple one down the line. He's overhit it. And Luis Diaz, in trying to keep it in, slipped up a bit and immediately clutched the back of his hammy there, which would be desperate news for Liverpool because he's been terrific. He's been so honest with his performance, but had bags of quality and energy in there. I mean, it's been a real battle down this right-hand side. He couldn't find 2 more fitter and more athletic and dynamic lads than Reece James and Chalobah. And Luis Diaz against them guys has been really good to watch.
Alonso bringing the ball forward here for Chelsea, and Lukaku will chase it, and he's going to get there as well, left hand side of the penalty area. Plays it back for Timo Werner. Werner trying his luck, and it's sailed high and wide at the top right hand corner, and it's going to be a Liverpool ball.
It's actually a reasonable effort, with a couple of feet over the bar, but they certainly get the bend on it he wanted to.
What they do have, Chelsea, Ali, don't they? They do seem to be able to get an overload at the back post against Liverpool.
Yeah.
And if someone picks their head up and finds the right sort of delivery into the box, they have got an extra shirt always with his hand in the air at the back post. But as of yet, they haven't quite been able to find it.
No, you're clearly talking about Reece James arriving at the back post there. Spot on.
Elliott letting the ball run through the midfield. Jota couldn't get there in time, and Thiago Silva sweeps up, finds Marcus Alonso out on the Chelsea left-hand side. It's back from him for Rudiger to Thiago Silva again. James in space on the Chelsea right. And Rudiger will play down the inside left channel instead. Lukaku backing in, has chested it down, holds it up well, finds Timo Werner. James again making that same run out towards space on the right-hand side of the penalty area if Chelsea can switch it quickly. Robertson knows where he is. He's just had a look round and can see him. But the pass does now come, and James will control it. Will try and take on Robertson. Feeds Havertz. Havertz on the edge of the penalty area, trying to drag it back inside. James tries his luck. Hits Robertson from close quarters and goes out of play for a throw to Chelsea down by the corner flag.
It's funny, you're actually right. The tempo has understandably dropped ever so slightly. But Reece James is certainly making himself available down this right hand side, and it's something that you'd expect Chelsea to exploit.
James takes a throw, finds Havertz. It's gone back for James again to Conte. Now to Kovacic, all about 10-15 yards outside the penalty area. Deeper for Thiago Silva. A step back to take 2 forward as he rolls it into the path of Reece James. Back for Silva again, and the Brazilian sends it wide out towards Timo Werner. Lifting in from that left flank as he loves to do. Shown inside by Elliott. Little give and go with Kovacic around the area. Werner trying to work the angle, get himself into a shooting position. Sets up and N'Golo Conte, and he skied it over the bar.
I think it was the wrong option. Werner's coming in. Was it Kovacic who's wanting to hit it, Andy? I mean, I couldn't see. I think it was Kovacic initially. He was lining himself up for the strike, and Werner should just have released it. Released it to him and let him hit it. Didn't do it. Takes the touch and away it goes. I think it was reached, and it was Betchler Cancer that puts the final effort, poor effort, high, wide and handsome. But there's no hold up here. Chelsea are getting back into the game. The opening period of extra time. Another substitution coming on.
Yeah, it's going to be Divock Origi, who has an excellent record in this competition, and that is Liverpool's 5th change. Allowed to make 6 once the game goes into extra time. So Origi coming on. He's missed a couple of months this season with a knee injury. He was a substitute in their last final as well, some 6 years ago when they were beaten by Manchester City. He has scored in both of his League Cup ties this season, contributing to a tally in this competition of 11 in 15, which is very impressive.
And he's also prone to an important goal.
He is, absolutely right, he really is.
Yeah, not much in the big finals. Here's Romelu Lukaku's played in. Lukaku turns inside, but he's offside as he puts the ball into the bottom right-hand corner, and it's still 0-0.
Of course he is. Andy and I looked at each other right away because Kanati has stepped out to play him offside. And it's I don't know, it's infuriating to tell you the truth, because we know it's offside, everybody knows it's offside.
I'm looking at all the Liverpool fans to our right, and they've all put their hand in the air immediately as soon as that ball was laid through. It's close, by the way.
It's very close.
Hey, it's very close.
Very close. Van Dijk might be playing him on, you know.
He might be.
But I'll tell you, that is unbelievably close. And if that's the case, you've got to question Kanati's decision not to get himself tucked in and mark him.
Yeah, Kanate had taken a step forward, but Van Dijk hadn't. It is offside. It is offside. That must have been very, very close indeed. 3D lines would have been out, but
they just showed you.
By the way, them lines I'm seeing there just showed him
onside.
I don't get them. What I've just seen there.
I'm with you, mate.
Those lines that just went on the screen in front of me, it showed Lukaku almost onside to me. That'll be worth a debate afterwards. I'm sure everybody is right now.
But it's interesting, Andy. It's all very well Kanati playing him offside, but if there's a decision to be made and it's close, he's got to get himself tucked in and mark him.
N'Golo Conte picks up a yellow card for the foul as Liverpool push forward, and they now have a free kick, which is about 10 or 12 yards outside the Chelsea penalty area. Level with the left-hand side of the box. Milner runs over it. Robertson swings it in. Heads go up for it, and Chelsea win the first touch and the second. Elliott to Salah, who recycles it. Ball inside the penalty area. Jota heading in on, but not the direction that he wanted. Chelsea have a player down injured. James clears down the right-hand touchline, but only after the ball has gone out of play. And Rudiger's going to be able to receive whatever treatment he needs before play restarts with the Liverpool throw. It's a very stop-start now with 99 gone, but still so much drama.
Incredible. No, it's just remarkable. The game's goalless. That's the biggest mystery to me.
Rudiger, look, he's still laying there.
I know.
He's still laying on the floor because he's moaning about someone grabbed him.
Not happy that there wasn't a yellow card shown. Play resumes. Elliott's got the ball for Liverpool in the midfield. Flicked on by Havertz. Ball down well by Divock Origi. Kanate then has been able to play it forward towards Robertson. Milner sends it wide to Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold into the feet of Harvey Elliott and straight back again. 0-0 with 100 on the clock on TalkSport. Elliott just looking for the run of Salah, just try to thread a subtle ball through. Chelsea's ball over the top, less subtle, but Van Dijk's got 5-yard start on Werner to sweep up and find his keeper. Kelleher's looked unfazed throughout the afternoon, plays it out for Konate. Alexander-Arnold scoops it on towards Salah. He's got Origi ahead of him, he's got Jota there as well. Salah coming into a more infield position, but couldn't work the angle as he wanted to, and Chelsea are going to be able to bring it away. They lay it back for Rudiger, and still it's 0-0 with 100 minutes gone. Kovacic to Rudiger. Rudiger for Thiago Silva. Back for Rudiger once more. Chipped towards halfway. Lukaku trying to spin his man. Konate had his arms around him, and the referee says it's a free kick on halfway, which will be taken by Chelsea.
Exactly what Andy was talking about there, Jim. Ball gets played into Lukaku. He's probably second favourite with Konate, but he gets his body in front. He's all over there, Konate. Arms over his shoulders and neck. Good forward play. Gets you a free kick, gets you up the park.
Free kick that Rudiger has taken. Trying to get it out towards Kai Havertz on the Chelsea left. Salah loses out as he temporarily won it back. Alonso picked his pocket. He can get it away from Fabinho to find Havertz. Havertz with a little step over, comes inside, gets away from Elliott. Conte now down towards Chalobah. Space again on the Chelsea right for Reece James, which has been a recurring theme. Werner making a good run outside him. Robertson can't cut out the pass or get Werner out of possession. Chalobah drives it in, but not with the height that was needed, and Van Dijk heads it away. Rudiger out towards Kai Havertz again. Back for Rudiger once more on the Chelsea left-hand side as we approach the turnaround in extra time. Still 0-0. Thiago Silva chipped down towards Reece James. James 5 yards outside the box. He's made it back for Conte. Conte inside the centre circle for Thiago Silva. Now to Rudiger. Chelsea taking their turn to string the passes together, but Van Dijk heads away as they look for the direct route for Timo Werner. His header only falls from Marcus Alonso, and it will come back in field from Kovacic, who's been sent off in a Wembley final in the past, on a yellow card here. He links up the play out to the Chelsea left-hand side where Salah concedes a throw, and it's Chelsea on the front foot at the moment with 2.5 minutes to go in this first period of extra time.
Decent little spell for Chelsea of possession in Liverpool's half, and there's that little bit more room, as you would expect now, for players on the ball at this stage of the game. As Ali said earlier, of course it's just started to slow down a little bit for the first time, so that does enable the better technical players maybe to just steal half a yard, and who knows, someone might make the very most of that.
Chelsea trying to do so here, and the ball in towards Werner. Van Dijk knocks it away. Chalobah battling, and then James battling, but out with the laws of the game. He's fouled Diogo Jota. Went to extra time the last time these met in the League Cup final as well, back in 2005, and it was Chelsea that were victorious. They turned a 1-1 scoreline after 90 minutes into a 3-2 win in Cardiff. And here at Wembley, it's still 0-0. Still wait for the breakthrough. The ball's been in the net a few times today, most notably when John Matip scored midway through the second period of normal time. Van Dijk, though, judged to have been interfering with play in an offside position before the ball got to Matip. Here's Van Dijk now. He's played it forward into the feet of James Milner. Milner, who's scored in the League Cup final back in his days with Villa. Played forward here by Robertson. Origi comes to meet it and passes it straight back to him. Now it goes back for Jota to Milner again. Milner curling it out to the Liverpool right-hand side for Alexander-Arnold. Origi making his way forward, but the cross was overhit, and James can watch it over his shoulder, out of play for a goal kick that Mendy will take. Ali McCourse.
I'm still not convinced about Lukaku offside goal. It's amazing. I'm really not convinced.
I think there's some debate going on, Ali. I think the social media airwaves, I think, are going a bit crazy right now. I think there's a lot of debate about that.
Because you're spot on, Andy. We've got a couple of monitors in front of us, obviously, and they showed us the offside decision, and if anything, he looked on.
Did look on. It looked like Van Dijk was playing him on. Look, and to be honest, we have seen that. I think we've all been guilty of that, sitting watching it at home, and then all of a sudden the lines appear and it convinces you otherwise, but genuinely looked like he was onside, didn't it?
Lukaku involved again, knocks it on towards Alonso. Havertz taking it on into stoppage time. Werner Couldn't quite reach it. Went over his head. Recycled by Alonso. Back in from Reece James, but not with the quality that was necessary. Alexander-Arnold will watch it out of play for a throw, but they're getting a bit of joy now in wider positions. Chelsea can't quite get the delivery right though, and we're in 1 minute of added time at the end of the first period of extra time.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good breakdown on the left-hand side. Alonso to Havertz, and it's a good ball in. Werner doesn't really do anything. He doesn't try to get across Van Dijk, or he doesn't spin to the back, and the ball goes over his head.
Jota knocking it on, can't find Elliott. Chelsea winning back with Conte. Elliott sticks his foot in. Kovacic brings it away. Fabinho stuck his arm out, tried to stop him, couldn't do so. The pass successfully finding Havertz, but no way round Alexander-Arnold. And then it's coming together between those two as Havertz tried to step past him, Alexander-Arnold, and getting back to his feet. His right leg came out. Harvey Elliott, no shrinking violet, sprints forward as well, and there's a little bit of pushing and shoving going on. Rudiger wasn't taking that. Kovacic comes in. Players on both sides just letting a little bit of steam off with 15 minutes to go.
I don't know about you, Andy, but I would suggest Harvey Elliott actually offers a handshake to Rudiger. I've got that done as a mismatch. I don't know if the wee man's been doing any karate training when he's been out injured, but I'd be leaving that alone.
He's gone flying in there, hasn't he? He has.
Eddie Hearn's not looking at that one as well. He wants to sanction, is he?
Not at all.
There's a proper catch weight. But everything's been calmed down. It was the proverbial nothing more than that. So, throw to restart play, which will be taken on the Chelsea left. Stuart Atwell still in discussion with all the chief protagonists.
He's given a card there to Kai Havertz, I think, Jim. And Trent. I think the two of them have just got booked.
And it's funny, you know something, because the one that probably should have got booked was Fabinho for
the foul on
Kovacic.
Yeah.
So Rudiger is now being called over as well. So he showed the two yellow cards. That was the initial infringement. And he's just calling Rudiger and Elliott over. That was for the afters, and I think it was hard to see whether there was a handshake from here, but it's all been calmed down. And when play restarts, the ball's back only on the island for a couple of seconds or so before the half-time whistle blows. So we've seen 105 minutes. We've seen a little bit of a skirmish as well. We've had pretty much everything else. We've had a very contentious offside call against Romelu Lukaku. VAR looked at it, disallowed the goal. It remains 0-0, 15 minutes of extra time to go. It's Jorginho who's coming on for Kovacic for the second period of extra time. And both coaches will be having a look at some stage as well, thinking about making sure that they've got their penalty takers on the field. And Jorginho, clearly, you would imagine, with the first cab off the rank for Chelsea when it comes to a shootout, if it comes to a shootout. Jorginho for Kovacic, the change that's been made on it.
Yeah, great change that is to be able to make. You're absolutely right. One, for his ability from the penalty spot, and he's taken some really high-profile ones, and also this sort of player now in this period of extra time, keeping the ball is essential. You don't want to be chasing.
So we're back underway. 105 gone, 0-0 on TalkSport. 2022 Carabao Cup final. Lukaku chasing the ball that's played forward. Konate went with him every step of the way, and the ball got the Kelleher before the pair of them. Liverpool bring it forward with Jota. He's playing on the left of the front three since Origi came on for Luis Diaz. Konate at the heart of the Liverpool defence. Finds Alexander-Arnold. Milner turning it round the corner. Couldn't get the angle right for Salah. And Mendy, who's been magnificent, plays it out for Thiago Silva, and then it's helped on by James to Timo Werner on the Chelsea right-hand side. Chalobah with the ball that's played forward. Van Dijk stepping back and knock it away, and then Jorginho will bring it down and just flick it out towards Reece James on that Chelsea right-hand side. Chelsea have got a good record if it does come to shootouts. Had 3 this season, they've won them all. So, bearing in mind Liverpool's record of shootouts isn't great, I'm sure Chelsea will be the happier. Alonso, it's back for Havertz again. Alonso tries to work it in, it's blocked by Konate, and it's a rare Chelsea corner. I think it's only the second they've had.
It's a good block from Konate, because I think Harvey Elliott just switches off Andy and allow Alonso to make the run in behind, but good defending from Konate.
Alonso's going to take this corner. Now we'll come down to the near touchline, which is the Chelsea left. He spotted it down, but he is going to leave it for Reece James. So Alonso trots away. That might just be a signal, something premeditated. Alonso going across and seemingly going to take it and then sprinting away again. James firing it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Good goalkeeping from Kelleher. Came out, beat it away from Rudiger. Then Alexander-Arnold smites it clear down the far touchline, and Werner not in a position to take any chances, just taps it out of play, away from Salah, and it's a throw.
Might be a silly thing to say, but what a clearance that is from Trent Alexander-Arnold with his left foot, and he's in the left back position. He's just wanting to clear it down the line to let them regroup, but it puts Werner under so much pressure, you end up winning possession.
And throw that Robertson will take off the head of Chalobah, but towards the edge of the penalty area. Chelsea got it back for Mendy. Mendy out towards Alonso. Just had to go up through the gears very quickly there to be able to stop that going out of play for a throw, but he rescued possession. Jorginho's now got the captain's armband for Chelsea, as producer Beck McCarthy's pointed out to me. Just lays it back for Thiago Silva. Now forward towards Conte, who nicked in and got the toes of his left boot to it. Fabinho picks it up, sends it back to his goalkeeper. Werner saw what was coming but wasn't going to be able to get there in time. Conte then heads it forward from Kelleher's clearance, and Chelsea turn over possession again, and Jorginho invites the challenge from Milner, which he knew was going to be a foul because he protected the ball. It's a free kick, which he leaves for Thiago Silva. Takes it immediately, swings it to the left for Marcus Alonso. Back from Alonso to Rudiger. High ball forward from Rudiger goes out to the Chelsea right-hand side. They'll be able to bring the ball forward here with James. Chipped over the top, Lukaku stretch, couldn't reach it after Jorginho just dinked one over the Liverpool back line, and Kelleher can pick it up.
He's playing right on the line, isn't he, Lukaku? As you would imagine and anticipate, and Jorginho tries to find him there. Another good spell for Chelsea, this.
Rudiger in possession, inside his own half. It's easy possession. Origi comes across to put the pressure on Thiago Silva, but Chelsea can play their way out very easily here. Havertz down towards Marcus Alonso, hugging the touchline on the Chelsea left. Havertz continues his run forward. Ball played in towards Lukaku, it's in towards Havertz for the turn through the goalkeeper. Flag comes up.
Yep.
Doesn't count.
And I think it was right, although the linesman, to be fair to him, put it up as soon as he possibly could. We'll have a look at it, but my initial reaction was when the ball came across. The one thing you knew Lukaku was going to do, he's a proper centre forward. As soon as he gets a chance, he's going to put the ball into the box, because in my opinion a lot of centre forwards deliver the ball as well as anybody, because they know what they want to receive. It's fine there, and he goes to cross it.
Yeah, he's off.
Absolutely offside, no doubt about it.
Yeah, there have been a couple of contentious ones. That one isn't contentious. Clearly offside, and Kelleher's relieved, because on a day when both goalkeepers have been at the top of their game, that went through it.
He hit it well, Kai Havertz there. You know, that's anything to go by. If he could get one more of those, another sort of situation like that, because he really hit that hard and Kelleher couldn't get it.
We've got 4 Liverpool fans right in front of our commentary box here. They're spending more time watching us than watching the game. They just can't face it. Their fingernails are non-existent.
Yep, they're having a proper sweat on, the 4 lads here. They really are.
Yeah, I think one of them's 2 stone lighter than he was at the start. I've been in the sauna. Ball played forward. It's knocked away by Thiago Silva. It's cleared by Marcus Alonso. And knocked away by Havertz, out for a throw that will be taken on the Liverpool right by Trent Alexander-Arnold. How far are we away from penalties now? 9.5 minutes.
Starting to think about, as a player now, Jim, you're starting to think.
Yeah.
You can't help it. And as much as you want to go and win it, as much as you want to keep flying forward, you can't help but think the inevitable is going to happen. Am I going to be one of the 5? Of course, both coaches now will start to consider that. The guys, assistant coaches on the bench, will be plotting their way forward from here now.
Well, Chelsea have got a lot of their regular penalty takers on, but nevertheless they've got changes they have at their disposal if they want to bring somebody else on. Loftus-Cheek.
Do you know what Ali said earlier, Jim? It's sticking in my mind now about Mendy. Just might be his day, because he's been incredible, and if we inch towards penalties, you wouldn't want to step up and take one against the big man today.
Konate's got the ball. Now he's played it back for Van Dijk. It goes out to Andy Robertson on the Liverpool left-hand side. We've played 111 here at Wembley on TalkSport.
Brilliant.
James Milner picking it up after an excellent pass from Trent Alexander-Arnold, and good defending from James, coming in very quickly to pick the pocket of Diogo Jota on the edge of the penalty area. Chelsea then work it forward, try and counter-attack with Werner. Werner didn't get it right at all, and Havertz even gave him a dirty look before he started chasing it. He knew he wasn't going to get there, and Werner overhit it by some distance.
I think he was well entitled to receive that look.
Not the best pass that has been played. Liverpool work it forward here. Chalobah sliced it down towards his own corner flag. Thiago Silva's there. Origi's there first. Chalobah stayed down injured here. Play goes on. Liverpool entitled to carry on. It's up to the referee to stop it. Trent Alexander-Arnold has it. Chelsea temporarily down to 10. Salah inside the penalty area, trying to work the angle. Couldn't get it through the legs of Rudiger to get a shot in, and then Chelsea will be able to bring it away. Chalobah's back on his feet. He's not moving particularly comfortably, but he is now back in position. Elliott tries to get it inside the box, but it deflected and took the sting out of it. Mendy can take 3 or 4 hurried steps forward and throw himself on the ball. We've got 7 minutes before penalties.
And I'm still a little bit low to say it with 7 minutes to go, but Andy, I think so far, if you're Chelsea, you're absolutely delighted with the way Rudiger has handled Salah.
Oh, brilliant. Again there when Salah run at him in the box, and if you dip a foot in and get it wrong against Mo Salah, you'll concede a pen, but Rudiger stands up well, makes himself big, blocks the shot. Excellent defending.
And Chalobah just hurt Conte there as the two went for the same ball in the midfield. They're both back on their feet. Liverpool picked it up in a deeper position and can now take it into Chelsea territory again. James Milner has it. Plays it back for Virgil van Dijk. This is Konate, and now down towards Trent Alexander-Arnold. Salah showing for the ball. Bundle of energy as he comes to receive it, looking to knock it off first time. Realised he had more time than he'd anticipated. It's worked in field instead, but Chelsea bring it away. They end up giving another throw away, which Harvey Elliott will take on the Liverpool right. He retrieves the ball and in fact just passes it down to the ground for Alexander-Arnold to take the throw. Alexander-Arnold standing 20 yards inside Chelsea territory, spinning the ball on the palm of his right hand. Now he takes the throw. Play forward towards Origi. Milner will take over for Liverpool in a central position. Played it back for Fabinho. Fabinho away from Havertz to bring Mo Salah into it. Salah trying to drift inside, but Havertz came back and knocked it away. And then Salah wins it back again. Mistake by Rudiger. Can't quite get a shot in. He tried to set it up for Milner on the edge of the penalty area, and Chelsea gave it away. Rudiger just a little bit tardy there. Now Chelsea can break, and Alonso busting a gun to get up with Lukaku, who's got round the challenge of Fabinho. He's played it inside the penalty area, but Lukaku's cross was poor, and Van Dijk could come back and sweep up and knock it away.
I cannot believe how well Rudiger did to redeem the situation. It was unbelievable because he made a complete mess of it.
He did.
And he let Salah, we're just saying, he let Salah in and he managed to get back, Andy. I don't know how he get back.
Well, he's the wrong side of Mo Salah in the box, and Salah's going towards the edge of the 6-yard box where we've seen him score so many from that sort of angle, and somehow Rudiger does enough to disturb him and affect him, get back and clear the danger. I mean, brilliant recovery. And then very quickly, literally within seconds, Chelsea have an overload down the left side. They get Lukaku in a wide position. His cross is just blocked by Van Dijk. Just thinking to myself, have we got one more? We've had so many great chances in this game and so many great situations. Is there a one last belter of a chance in either team?
I hope so, Andy. I've got to be honest here. I'd rather see somebody win it than go to penalties. Although you'd have to say neither team deserves to lose.
Alonso, oh, good touch. Timo Werner has it. Again, the offside flag comes up late. As predicted by my two esteemed colleagues to my left-hand side, as soon as the ball was flipped on towards Timo Werner, their arms came up, and that of the assistant referee eventually followed on the far side.
Me and Korstig going on a linesman's course. Jim, I've had my hand up today more times than in my career. Honestly.
You are red hot, the pair of you. You've had enough practice. There's action on the Chelsea bench, you know. Kepa Arrizabalaga
I see it.
is getting ready.
Well, I know.
Listen,
I'm with you.
Hey, by the way, I don't care how great he is at saving penalties. You're not going to put him on for Mendy today, surely.
Mendy will save one with his teeth. Honestly, he's been unbelievable.
Do you know what? I think Arrizabalaga for there's a change that's in the post.
Yeah, but he's stone cold, Jim. He's been sat there watching all of this. You've got the guy out there who's been incredible.
It's a big,
what a call! What a call that is!
And it just, here's Salah, and Salah will come in field and play it off towards Origi. Might not get the penalties. Milner out towards the left. Oh, Jota completely misses his kick, and Jorginho's there to get it away.
Just too much pace on it, Jim, for him. It's a good run by Jota across the face. There's just too much pace on it for him, though.
Yeah, got to him more quickly than he anticipated. That was the only thing that saved Chelsea, because had he been able to meet that with any kind of clear contact, then that probably would have fizzed in for 1-0 Liverpool. 117 gone. It's goalless. Liverpool bring it forward again. James committed, knocked away by Chalobah. Fabinho will control it well inside his own half.
Jim, there is activity down there below us. You are spot on.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It is going to happen. It's, well, as we said, it is a big call. It is something that will be debated if it goes the wrong way for Chelsea at length.
How's Mendy feel?
Well, I'm just going to say, in current form at Wembley, maybe he's putting himself on the goalie. He tends to do things like that here. He makes his own mind up, doesn't he?
Well, here he comes. I wonder what Willie Caballero's thinking right now, by the way.
Dear me.
He's thinking, you are joking, aren't you?
I know.
Well, he's telling Mendy not to come off. Here's Alexander-Arnold, chipped over the top here towards Divock Origi, and it's bobbled off him and gone out of play for a goal kick. And here's the change. So you'll remember in the League Cup final 3 years ago, Sarri wanted to take Arrizabalaga off and bring Caballero on for the penalty shootout. Arrizabalaga refused to leave the field, faced the penalties. Chelsea lost. 3 years on, things have come full circle, because Arrizabalaga is coming on for a penalty shootout, and Mendy, who's had one of the games of his life, leaves the field to a standing ovation from the Chelsea support. Arrizabalaga, who is a penalty saving specialist, comes on.
Well, the first thing you've got to see is Mendy's handled it absolutely superbly well. That's the first thing you've got to say, coming off and wishing the substitute all the very, very best. I've still got it down as a strange one. I understand the reasoning behind it, of course I do. But I think, hey, he's just taken off the man of the match, effectively.
I mean, look, I don't know how much time we've got left, Jim. I mean, the clock's ticking away, 29 and a half at the moment. Whether there's, but he might have to make a save in open play, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, he gets the first touch since he's come on. He takes the goal kick forward towards Lukaku. Lukaku heading it on towards Timo Werner, and then it's knocked away by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Of course, it might not go to penalties. So remember, playoff years ago, a Leicester game where Leicester made a change. I think they brought Kalach on, and Steve Claridge scored the winner, stopped it going to penalties before it even saw Kalach the ball. Silva heads it away.
Touch.
Brought down by Werner. Lukaku's going to chase here. Just couldn't quite get goal side of Konate. We're in stoppage time at the end of extra time, a minute to be played. Kelleher gets it away from Lukaku. Flicked on through the midfield by Jota. Origi not brought down by Thiago Silva. Yes, he was. Jurgen Klopp was furious because he thought the decision wasn't going to go his way, but it has done, and it's a free kick to Liverpool on halfway. If either side are going to win it in extra time, it will be from this free kick.
Hey, Trent Alexander was on the ball. He's on the halfway line. Hang this up on the penalty spot. Chelsea are holding as high a line as they can to keep it away from the goalkeeper. Get him involved here.
Alexander-Arnold driving it forward. Flicked down towards the edge of the penalty area. Konate is in there battling. Havertz trying to get it away. James can. And after 121 pulsating minutes of action, we're going to penalties. 0-0 it finishes. Some contentious calls, the ball in the net on numerous occasions. Both goalkeepers forced to produce fine saves, none better than Edouard Mendy's in the first half to deny Sadio Mane. Mendy doesn't get the privilege of facing the penalties in the shootout. Arifa Balaga is on. Will he be able to atone for what happened in 2019 and be the hero in the penalty shootout? We'll find out together very shortly. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0 after extra time, and both sides lost their last League Cup final on penalties, and that'll just be going through the mind. It's going to be Liverpool who will go first. They're going to be taken in front of the Liverpool fans. First up for Liverpool, James Milner. Now, he often goes first in these shootouts. He did in the one that they had in the quarterfinals against Leicester. Only two of the players that took a penalty that night are on the field. Milner and Jota. It was Jota that put the decisive 6-1 away. Milner, who was for a long time reckoned to be the best penalty taker in the England camp in his international days, is going to be the first up here against Kepa Arrizabalaga, who has saved 8 penalties in shootouts in his Chelsea career, which is a record. And when he was dropped by Frank Lampard, one of the things that he did was extra work on saving penalties. So much extra put in, and I reckon that is one of the reasons why he's so good at saving them now. Doing his 10,000 hours. So Kepa Arrizabalaga up against James Milner. Arrizabalaga off the bench. Can he make himself a hero? Milner sends it the wrong way into the bottom left-hand corner. That's an excellent penalty.
Yeah, no chance of that. Even if he goes the right way, he's absolutely no chance of that. That's bordering on the perfect penalty. Low, hard, goalkeeper's right, no chance.
To be fair, if they had Kepa and Mendy in, they might not have saved it. Marcus Alonso's going to go next. So the pressure on Chelsea, because they're being taken at the Liverpool end of the ground, and Chelsea are playing catch-up as well. Alonso scored penalties in the shootouts against Villarreal and Southampton, where he led them off, and he leads them up to there, and he's squeezed it under Kelleher's body. That's not as good a penalty as the Milner one by any stretch of the imagination. Good enough though, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, because the goalie guesses right. Kevin Kelleher leaps to his left, but the ball is hit hard and firm along the floor, and it just squeezes under him, as you say, Jim. Don't matter how they go in, as long as they hit the back of that net.
Fabinho's been taking the penalties recently in the absence of Mo Salah while he's away at the African Cup of Nations, and he's going to take the second one here for Liverpool. Arrizabalaga standing on the edge of the 6-yard box, just indulging in a few mind games. Stuart Atwell has told him to get back and get on his line. He bobs left and right on his line, pushes his hands above his head. Fabinho just flicks it past, and he waited for Arrizabalaga, who's all pumped up to make his move, and when he did, he's panenkered it straight down the middle.
Sorry about that one.
Oh, that's just brilliant, that. I mean, that takes a bit of bottle, as we all know, but it was a fantastic finish. You get everything about it right.
Do you know, Jim, what you said about what he is doing, Kepa, he's making every Liverpool player wait as long as they can to take their penalty.
Kelleher isn't indulging in the same histrionics. It's Romelu Lukaku next up for Chelsea. All the penalties have gone in so far. Lukaku to hit this left-footed. Plenty will be going through his mind as he addresses the ball and has dispatched it perfectly into the bottom right-hand corner. And after 2 penalties apiece, it is 2-2, Alan.
Very confident penalty there. Opens his body up as if he's going to side foot it to goalkeeper's left. Last minute comes back across it. Goalkeeper's away. Good pen.
Here we go again. Look, Stuart Atwell, Jim, is telling Kepa, get back on your line. Van Dijk is now placing the ball on the spot, and he's still on the 6-yard line.
Until he gets a yellow card for doing it, he's going to keep doing it. Van Dijk has spotted it down. Actually standing left of centre. Van Dijk called the goalkeeper's bluff and put it straight through his hands, really. Arifa Balaga had shown him the right-hand side of the goal as being a big target. Van Dijk still went the other way. Arifa Balaga guessed right, couldn't save it. And it's 3-2 Liverpool as Havertz steps forward for Chelsea.
That's just power, Jim. Plain and simple power to beat the goalkeeper. He was actually standing to that side just about.
Kai Havertz has only taken one penalty in a shootout this season for Chelsea, and he missed it. That was the lead-off penalty against Villarreal in the Super Cup. And he looks a little bit nervous. Liverpool fans waving their scarves, trying to put him off. Plenty of boos, as you can hear. Havertz addressing the ball, left-footed, little stutter in the run. It's a really well-taken penalty, and he just allows himself an understated fist pump and pushes his hand through his black hair as he walks away. It is 3-3.
You know, I always panic when you see this little stutter run up like Jorginho does, and lots of players do it nowadays. I always think, if the goalie guesses right, he saves it, it's not a problem to him, but Keller goes to his right and Havertz just drops it in the other corner. Really lovely pen.
Trent Alexander-Arnold makes his way forward. Just adjusting the placing of the ball, and again Arifa Balaga is all the way out to meet him on the edge of the 6-yard box and saunters backwards, eyeballing Alexander-Arnold here, still bobbing up and down on his line. Alexander-Arnold! Keeper went the right way, couldn't save it. 7 perfect penalties so far.
Quality is unbelievable, it really is. The quality of the pen is superb. Whipped with pace, back across himself, goalkeeper guesses, but he's absolutely no chance.
Now Reece James often goes last for Chelsea. He did in the victorious shootouts against both Villa and Southampton, and scored the winner on each occasion. He's going 4th this time. It is a pressure penalty. If he misses this, Liverpool are a penalty away from winning it. So it's Kelleher's turn, just to belatedly go back to his mark. Reece James stands, hands on hips, only 3 yards from the ball. Kelleher motionless on the line. Whistle's gone, James motionless as well. Now he takes it and he puts it in. Keeper again went the right way, but all 8 penalties have been hit. Truly enough that the first mistake has yet to be made.
Brilliant penalty from Reece James. As you say, just about 3 paces that one up, but he hits it hard to his left, so the goalkeeper's right. Keller goes the right way, but I'm afraid he's not getting that one. It's into the side net, and brilliant penalty.
Mo Salah saved himself for the last penalty in the African Cup of Nations shootout. Never got the chance to take it, but he is taking penalty number 5 here for Liverpool. We are effectively in sudden death. And again, Stuart Atwell is speaking to Arifa Balaga, who's testing the referee's patience. Mo Salah against Arifa Balaga to make it 5-4 Liverpool. It's another brilliant penalty. Sent the keeper the wrong way and smacked it across him into the top right-hand corner.
Serious quality, absolute. The pace and the ferocity that these kicks are getting taken is effectively taking the goalkeeper out of the equation. Because believe it or not, you look back, the goalkeeper probably went the right way the majority of the times.
Now Jorginho stepping up for this one, Jim. Obviously he usually puts that little stutter in, occasionally he doesn't, but normally it ends up in the back of the net, usually.
His last 20 goals have all come from the penalty spot. Kelleher saves this, Liverpool have won it. He doesn't save it, and Jorginho just turns and put his finger to his lips towards the Liverpool fans. There was that little stutter and calmly strokes it into the bottom left-hand corner. 5 penalties apiece. It is 5-5. You're now by definition down in the domain of those that didn't really want to take one to start with. Diogo Jota went 6 in that shootout against Leicester, and he is going 6 again here.
Again, the quality is incredible. We've got Fabinho doing the Panenka, Jorginho doing the stutter and run up. You and I are a bag of nails here, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Jota places it down. Arifa Balaga jumping, hands up, touching the crossbar. So it's Jota, and he sends him the wrong way again. Arifa Balaga dive to his left as we look at it. Jota pretty much down through the middle. It's 6-5. Chelsea have lost on penalties to Liverpool twice. And if Rudiger doesn't put this away, that'll be 3 times, and it'll be the League Cup to Liverpool. It's a long...
What do you think?
Well, you know what, I applaud anyone who steps up and take an alley. You've done it, I've done it. It's not easy, it's tough, and at this stage, of course, it's all or nothing.
Rudiger scored the winner in the shootout against Villarreal. This to keep Chelsea in it. Right-footed, and again he scores. It is now 12 perfect penalties.
Great penalty, big man. Great penalty.
Lifted it, didn't he?
Oh, great penalty. About 3 or 4 paces, big side foot, slaps it in the opposite direction to the goalkeeper.
Divock Origi scored in a Champions League final for Liverpool. And that's probably the one moment for which he will always be remembered. He has to make sure that he's not remembered for what's about to happen in the next 15 seconds. This is the 13th penalty in the shootout. Origi hoping it isn't going to be unlucky 13. Right-footed, he sends the keeper the wrong way. Arifa Balaga dive to the left as we look at it. Origi sent it into the bottom right-hand corner, and still perfection is maintained, and the burden of responsibility now falls on the shoulders of N'Golo Kanté.
This is absolutely unbelievable. The way things are going, I'll be leaving here, going straight to the studio for the breakfast show. You will.
Could be going round again. You know the script is written. The keepers are going to end up taking it. You can see it coming, can't you? So far the quality has been immense. Conte it's going to be against Kelleher. Can Kevin Kelleher make himself a hero for Liverpool? It's Conte, and he too sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. It was a lukewarm attempt to save it really from Kelleher, who went down on one knee to his left-hand side. He knew he'd been beaten. Conte trudges back as if he's missed it almost. He's got the weight of the world on his shoulders, ambling back after a tiring day. 7-7, and now it's Andy Robertson. So Robertson clearly is going to take it left-footed. I haven't seen too many left-footed penalties being taken so far. It is Robertson straight down the middle. And he's hugely relieved. There is a fist bump towards the Liverpool fans. Pressure on now. Timo Werner for Chelsea.
Big pressure.
Huge pressure.
Everyone. Oh, great pen again for Robertson. Sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. Timo Werner now.
Werner's only played in 1 shootout so far this season, and he didn't take a penalty in it. The strikers normally would be much higher up the batting order than number 8. Werner has to score. It's Werner against Kelleher, and he's just got it in, and only just. Kelleher went the right way. I'm sure he would have got something on it. It's just brushed off his right fingers and in.
He definitely gets a hand on it.
He's almost dived over it, Ali. He's guessed the right way. Werner's hit it head down hard to his left. Kelleher's gone the right way. He's kind of dived over it. It's sneaked under his hand.
Only 2 outfield players left for Liverpool, Elliott and Konate. It's the 18-year-old that strides forward. And the close-up on the TV picture shows a man who knows the enormity of the situation. Harvey Elliott's been through so much. He hits it left-footed. That's another brilliant penalty.
Well done, kid. Well done.
Here. Absolutely.
The bottle and the resolve there, immense. So still advantage Liverpool. Nobody has missed. We've seen, almost lost count, 17 successful penalties. Thiago Silva, the most experienced man of them all,
What's he doing
to take it.
What is he doing? Is he side footing it, or is he putting his foot through it?
Thiago Silva has won 12 domestic cup competitions in his career. To make it 13, or a chance of 13. He's got to score this. It's right-footed from Silva, and he has sent the keeper the wrong way, and still we go on.
Jim, the composure is absolutely amazing these boys are showing.
And also, Jim, we see a massive difference now with the fact that the goalkeepers can't step out off that line, because they've got to stay on that line. They're bouncing along the line. The fact that they can no longer come out a yard or two makes a massive difference. It really does. If you keep your composure, don't change your mind. That's always the key with penalties.
Yep.
Stick to plan A. But you know, the last thing you want to do is when you get up to that spot, change your mind.
So going last of the outfield players is going to be Konate and Chalobah, and it's Konate who's going to go first. Yet to lose a game in a Liverpool shirt. It's the 10th penalty. He's hurried it and he scored. All of a sudden he addressed the ball and he smacked it, and Aretha Balaga went the right way and he got a top hand to it but could only help it into the net. That's the worst of the penalties we've seen, but it went in. It just goes down as a green dot rather than a red cross in the record book. That's all that matters. And immense pressure now on Trevor Chalobah.
It's a big right hand. It's a pace that beats him. If he meets the ball in the centre of his right hand, I think he saves it. Just too much power for him. Pressure on now is incredible.
Dare I say it, Mendy would have saved that.
I think he might have actually.
Aretha Balaga thought he should have saved it, certainly. Chalobah stands motionless at the beginning of his run-up and has blazed it in. All of the outfield players have scored, and it is going to come down to the goalkeepers to keep this penalty shootout alive.
Unreal what you've seen here. The quality, the composure from these guys has been, well, just out of the top drawer. Just the finest stuff that is. That is brilliant work from all of them. It really is.
How ironic would it be if the Chelsea keeper misses?
It can happen. David De Gea missed one in the Europa League final.
You've got no idea how much I aware I am that can happen.
First up though, it's Quevin Kelleher. The two goalkeepers facing up against each other. Kelleher scores his. Aretha Balaga didn't even sniff it. And so it potentially all comes down to this. For 3 years, Kepa Arrizabalaga has been associated with what happened in a penalty shootout here at Wembley, and immediately before it when he refused to leave the field. Now he's been brought on for a penalty shootout, and he has to score his penalty to keep Chelsea in the tie. And he's blazed it over the bar! It's penalty shootout in the money for Kepa Arrizabalaga. It is Liverpool who win the League Cup. Arrizabalaga off the bench to make himself a hero, and it's ended up quite the reverse. Liverpool have their place in history, a 9th League Cup triumph, more than any other side have ever achieved. It is their first domestic cup for a decade. It is Liverpool's day. Red is the colour. Kepa Arrizabalaga, the man feeling blue. It has finished 11-10 on penalties. It is Quevin Kelleher who has scored the winner. Kepa Arrizabalaga, the man who has fluffed his lines. An extraordinary climax to a most absorbing, sensational League Cup final.
Jim, it's one of the best games I've been at in years. I've absolutely loved it.
Me too.
It's had absolutely everything. Drama, that's it. Andy touched on it, that's the beauty of our game. That epitomised, that gave us everything that is good in our game today. It was enthralling. I mean, you couldn't have written that script. You take the man in the match off, you put on the goalkeeper who thinks going to win you the penalty shootout, and he ends up missing the penalty. It cost you the cup.
No, just, I mean, astonishing. It's just incredible. And of course, there's going to be so much debate on TalkSport over the next couple of days about whether or not that was the right call. Can you have a specialist penalty-saving goalkeeper that you introduce just for the shootout? Can you really have that?
Well, Andy, hindsight's the greatest thing.
Yes, I know it is.
But you and I, we're looking to each other saying, why are you making that decision? Because your goalkeeper effectively has been unbeatable for 120 minutes. He's been unbeatable. So why is that going to change?
Well, listen, no doubt we'll hopefully get some opinion from Thomas Tuchel and co. Exactly why. Fabulous game. Privileged to be here, Jim, today. A wonderful, wonderful occasion. Both sets of fans got behind their team brilliantly. It's a shame it has to come down to that, but boy, what a game we've just seen.
Well, back in 2007 in the Champions League semi-final, it was Robin and Jeremy who missed as Liverpool scored all of their penalties. None of the outfield players got it wrong today. Kepa Arrizabalaga brought on the man who has saved more penalties in shootouts than any other Chelsea player. But he couldn't save any of the 11 that he faced. He couldn't convert the one that he took. And it is the Liverpool fans who are celebrating. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0 after extra time. 11-10 to Liverpool on penalties. Liverpool are the Carabao Cup winners for 2022.